Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. After missing the playoffs by just 2 points last season, the Blue Jackets look to take the next step. CBJ begin the 2025-2026 campaign tonight in Nashville against the Predators. Face-off there is 8 o'clock. You can hear that game on The Fan with pregame coverage at 7:30. This morning, Jackets head coach Dean Evison told T-Bone and Tyvis Jet Greaves gets the nod in net tonight. Evison also said right winger Igor Chinnikov will be a healthy scratch against the Preds. Jackets will skate in Minnesota on Saturday, then host the Devils this coming Monday night at Nationwide Arena. In the NFL, the Browns traded cornerback Greg Newsome to the Jaguars last night in exchange for cornerback Tyson Campbell. Cleveland's at Pittsburgh Sunday at 1, and Ohio State's at number 17 Illinois Saturday at noon. Hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day Radio Show. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Fun little program for you. Julian saying, hello, world. My goodness, has everybody caught wind of what we've been talking about for the last couple of years with Mr. Sayin? 10 o'clock, the mailbag is just jam-packed. Included in it, I mean, this is an all-timer mailbag. Including in this mailbag is a story from a listener of Tim May getting Archie Griffin to go to a sick kid's house. The kid whose house he went to wrote the email. And he's got a Dommy story about wall-to-wall sports and food placement, all in the same email. So you have that to look forward to, which is nice. Paul Finebaum going to drop by at 10:30, so you have that to look forward to. 11 o'clock, NFL, we attempt to beat the house. It did not go well for me last week. We're hoping to have a bit of a rally this week. Reese, how were you last week? Did you get your head above even Steven?
No, 6 and 8, not great.
Same.
So we'll just,
Don't love it.
We'll scrub that.
You know what I did one year with AR when he and I were doing the show? I started picking the games because it was going so poorly that I started picking the games based on different criteria than the actual game. So one week I would pick like best city to live in on making $45,000 a year. The next week I would pick which team had the better colors, better mascot, like just because it was just going so bad. Had no feel for it. Not suggesting you're there. 1
week away from a coin flip. Just from all of the games, just flipping a coin. Yeah.
A little bit. Hey, by the way, kids, 11:30, the return of Shelly Time.
We're so back.
Here we go, kids. This thing paratroops every year, this time of year into the season. Every year I probably come on here, if you've been listening to me for 15 years or so here on The Fan. My guess is every year some version of what I'm about to do has been done. And what I'm about to do is, my God, how is it possible that this starts? That away we go. That on October 9th, we're dropping the puck and the Blue Jackets are playing a game that matters down in Nashville today. But here we are. There is this glut of sports that is thrown at us right now, and it's hard to keep up with all of it. But this is one we'll be watching very carefully. This is 25 years of Blue Jacket hockey. They debuted here 2 days and 25 years ago. On October 7th of 2000 was their first ever game. We talked to Porty yesterday about that. There is, in my view, not a coincidence that the boom that this city has been feeling over the last quarter century or so, that the Blue Jackets played a role in that. There was something about, I wasn't here at that time. You guys were both grew up here, so you can speak to it more eloquently than I can, certainly. When I got here in 2007, what I knew about the Columbus Blue Jackets is they didn't win much, but God, the fans loved them. And when I started going to games in 2007, I saw that immediately. And they had this precocious superstar in Rick Nash. And I remember a buddy of mine who's a big Islanders fan going, people have no idea how good he is. Like, people who don't watch hockey every day have no idea how good he is. And so I paratrooped into this situation, and Sergei Fedorov, I remember seeing him one time at Hyde Park and having just being blown away. Like, he was just sitting there enjoying a steak at Hyde Park. My now wife and I were on a date, and he was sitting at the bar, and I said, "Do you know who that is?" I go, "Oh my God, that's Sergei Fedorov. Like, what are we doing? No one's even bugging him." And she's like, "I don't have any idea who he is." And so, and he was sitting there enjoying his meal. And it was like these brushes with this hockey royalty that you started to see. And of course, you guys are used to it because they'd been here for 7 years at that point. But back to the point of the no coincidence and the growth, that you needed to have at the time a Big Four to be viewed as a legitimate city. You needed it. And Porty told that great story yesterday about how Major League Baseball said, "Yeah, you're never getting one." And the NFL said, "Yeah, you're never getting one." And the NBA or NHL, I don't even know if it mattered to Mr. Mack at that time. I think he just wanted something. And this is what he got. And what you all have done, the collective you as a city with this operation in this club, is nothing short of remarkable. There are now generations of hockey fans who have grown up here. This has become a kind of a youth hockey mecca. All of that has happened. None of it happens without the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the only thing that's really missing here is just consistent winning. And I remember having a conversation with Porty. This was right after Brett left. And we said, you know what? The one thing that's never been done here is a true tear down and rebuild, and just hit on pick after pick after pick. And JD and Yarmo got close, but the team maybe overperformed, and so they pivoted to try to contend. What we have now is what we've always wanted, which are young, what feels like superstar building blocks in waves that are all coming of their own at the same time. So if ever there is going to be consistent winning here, and we'll do how we're going to judge this team coming up at 11 o'clock, but if there's ever going to be consistent winning here with the hockey club, this is the way it has to be done. It has to be done with kids who you drafted, kids who grew up in this system, who expect to win, who grow up together, who form that bond, who love living in this city, who are perhaps going to get married in this city and raise families in this city the way that Rick Nash and Cam Atkinson and Jody Shelley and so many others before them have. That is what we're hoping for. If those young guys take a leap this year, then, oh, baby, you're on to something. If they just take a positive step forward, you should be in no worse shape than you were a year ago at this time. So this does have the feeling, and maybe it took 25 years to get here, but this does have the feeling of something that the building blocks that are in place for a sustained run of success. Will it manifest itself with the Stanley Cup? God, I hope so. Who knows, though? Those are very difficult to win. But you're going to knock on the door in the next couple of years, and you should be invited to the dance this year, next year, and going forward. I think it's a seminal season for the Columbus Blue Jackets to pay off on all of it.
It's a wild juxtaposition from where this season started in 2024. And to think that this Blue Jackets team, we had asked of them last year to be competitive at the Stadium Series game, and they checked that box. And outside of falling apart in March, this team goes 81 games, still in contention for a postseason spot. The next step is to play past game 82.
Yeah.
And there can be, in my opinion, no excuses as to why that will not be the case in April. So having these kinds of expectations with, I think, the faith in the coach, the faith in the general manager, the faith in this organization that was established last season, I think should give a lot of Jackets fans, and I'm hoping we'll be talking to one of them in a second, for that this year. I hope.
I'm excited for this season. I'm excited for another year under Don Waddell. I'm excited.
Is levitating. He's levitating.
I'm excited for another season with Dean Evison. I will say this. There is a little bit of nervousness around this season to me because the expectations for the fan base are so high. And I just, the growth is never linear. We talk about that.
Yeah.
And Do I think there's another step to Adam Fantilli? Yes, I do. And I think we're going to see that this year. Mm-hmm. Do I think there's more to Kent Johnson? Yeah, there is. Is there more to Dmitry Voronkov? Absolutely. If there's more to Kirill Marchenko, you guys, we've got a top 15, top 10 type winger. Right. Because I don't think we talked enough about the season that he had last year, not only points-wise, but the strides he made defensively. But the Jackets didn't do much to improve this roster, right? The salary cap the Jackets have plenty of money, but so did everybody else with the salary cap going up. So everybody signed their players. There wasn't a ton of moves there. The goaltending situation is real. We don't know what Jet's going to be in a full season, and we don't know if he's going to push Elvis and get the best out of Elvis, or if this is going to get to Elvis somehow, that he's having to split time and whatnot. And I hate this Chinnikov situation. I hate that this isn't resolved. Yeah. I hate that this is hanging over their head. I hate that he's not in the lineup tonight.
That's weird, right? Inactive tonight.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's strange.
So as much optimism as I want to have, there is a little bit of pause for me just because there's other teams that have young players that are looking to take a step that will too. And I'm very excited, and I want to see it. I want to see it on the ice tonight.
Do you think that there are, I don't know, I don't get the sense that there's outsized expectations for the fan base, though. I think the fan base thinks they're a team that's going to chase the 8. Isn't that the consensus? That's what it seems like to me.
I think everybody's like they have to be in the playoffs. I think from most people I'm hearing, this has to be a playoff team
that's what
this year.
Said. Yeah, there's so many variables to it. When you think of injuries and the things that happen over the course of a season, if they remain completely healthy and don't make the postseason, I think that would be disappointing. That to me would be disappointing. But you hit on it. And by the way, great job out of T-Bone and Tyvus. Jet Greaves going to start tonight. So they got that news from Coach this morning on with them. So, it all starts tonight. And there's an excitement to it. You're going to see that puck drop. And, of course, you can listen to it here. And we'll have Shelly Time coming up at 11:30. We'll give kind of our guidelines of how we're going to view this team coming up at 11:20. So Jackets and Preds tonight. Then they're at Minnesota on Saturday night. And then they host the Devils for their home opener Monday night here on The Fan. So that is away we go, hockey season. Sports last night, there was a lot going on that side of things. Coming up, we'll hear from the Buckeyes as they continue to get closer to that date in Champaign against the Illini. We're off and running on a Thursday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, I invented a way to make sure people's furnaces are safe.
Do you test high temperature, flame rollout, flame limit, and flame proving?
Yeah, no one wants to set their house on fire.
Do you inspect the heat exchanger?
Yeah, no one wants a house full of carbon monoxide.
We already do all that for just $89.
Yeah, but my price is just $88.
Okay, so $88 will be the new price for a furnace safety check.
Get Eco.
ECO. I also invented a cool new name for it.
Okay.
I call it the Super Safety Check.
What makes it super?
Well, it costs $1 less, and it has super in the name.
Should I start calling you Super Jerry?
The Super Jerry Super Safety Check. I like it.
Get Eco to safety check your furnace.
Or, for $1 less, you can get the Super Jerry Super Safety Check.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine. Give me a dew. Something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a pretty crashing mountain dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
At Giant Eagle, we're here because being part of the neighborhood matters. Because what we pick up at the store is what we bring into our lives. At Giant Eagle, we're always going for better to bring you the best. Because it matters.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun. Your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports ball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun. Your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers? Use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Really feeling like fall today? You probably want to bring a light jacket if you get cold easily. We'll see temperatures in the mid-60s with lots of sunshine. For tonight, temperatures plunge overnight with clear skies and lows in the 30s, so we might see some patchy areas of frost. And then for Friday, we get a little bit warmer with plenty of sun and highs in the low 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
So, for reasons beyond anything I can make sense of, my kids are off the next 2 days. Just, I don't know, conferences. I don't know, just off. I mean, they've been in school for 7 weeks.
They need a break, Bo.
They got another one coming, Bake. There's another one. In like next week, they're off something for a Friday. I mean, they don't go a full month straight without a day off. Like, just doesn't.
Load management.
I guess so. I mean, I'll tell you what, you'd kill for their schedule. You'd kill for their schedule to be able to have just built-in days off all the time. Did you guys see this? We'll talk a little bit of baseball here in a second, but did you see this WRAL report on Belichick in North Carolina?
Sure did.
Man. So, alleges all sorts of things. Just complete malfeasance, kids being done wrong, coaches on the staff trying to line up jobs for next year, preferential treatment to guys who Steve Belichick brought from Washington. And WRAL, that's where Hoagie came from. That's a big time station. And so I'm certain I believe all of the reporting that's in it. Here's the crazy thing. It forces Belichick and North Carolina to do the I got the coaches back, I'm not going anywhere thing. So this was yesterday amid numerous reports that Belichick and North Carolina engaged in negotiations to lower the coach's buyout after the dismal start to his tenure in Chapel Hill. Belichick said, I'm fully committed to North Carolina, UNC football and the program we're building here. Athletics director Bubba Cunningham added that Belichick had the full support of the UNC administration. All the while, as Ashley Schaefer would say, WRAL reporting widespread discontent in the locker room, and potentially that the two operations are headed for a buyout that could happen as soon as this week. Here's, I don't have a really strong feeling one way or another on Belichick. I don't particularly like him. I don't particularly not like him. He's fine. I acknowledge that he's probably the greatest he's probably at the very least the most successful NFL coach of all time. I do think the non-Tom Brady stuff hurts him, and the way that he mismanaged that New England roster at the end, I think that's a little bit of a stain. I think this one is going to hang around his neck a little bit too, but I don't know it's going to be something that's going to affect a legacy. My guess in 3 to 4 years, this is a 73-year-old man, in 3 to 4 years, if this is it for him there, this will largely be forgotten. And there's so many parallels with Herb, obviously, and I think largely that Jacksonville tenure is largely forgotten for folks when discussing Urban. Mostly it's just about the greatness that he had in college football, where he's one of the two best coaches the last 50 years, two or three, four best coaches the last 50 years. So I don't think it's going to be that. But there is something very satisfying for those of us that laughed at the notion that they were going to try to reinvent the wheel and be the 33rd NFL team. There's some satisfaction in this falling on its face. The arrogance of Mike Lombardi, who's up in Cleveland in a couple of stints and is really outspoken, that somehow he was going to have the answer to how to handle all of this in terms of building relationships and recruiting and bringing in players, and they've just fallen flat on all of those fronts. And then the folks who covered Belichick NFL-wise, and I love Bill Simmons, but he even talked about this, about how, well, he's going to do something revolutionary. He's going to build an NFL program in college football. And I'm thinking, dude, and it's not their fault. This isn't how they've spent their life in the muck with the rest of us in college football that know how this has been going on for 25 years. But there was an arrogance to everybody around Belichick that he was going to do something different and that college football had never been more like the NFL. This is failing miserably. And in today's college football, with NIL and free portal and recruiting and all the things that go with it, I just don't see any scenario how this doesn't end with him fired in a mess or walking away on his own in a mess and leaving the place, quite frankly, worse off than how he got it. It wasn't the worst Power 5 program in the country when he inherited it from Mac Brown. It wasn't that. They'd fallen off, but they just had Drake May 2 years ago.
They're in a worse position now than UCLA is. If Belichick decides, in fact, to leave. And it was interesting, as a lot of this came out yesterday. You had a bunch of different reporters, Pete Nakos of On 3, 24/7 Sports, The Guardian had a report with one UNC defensive assistant saying, quote, "What we've done to these kids is effed up."
Jeez.
The Kevin Bacon, all is well, there is nothing to see here tweet came out at 9:38 last night from Bubba and Bill, like the statement, the one-sentence statements from each of them, which only throws more gasoline onto this fire. Paul Finebaum yesterday said that Bill should just quit, which I don't know what that would, amid discussions of $1 million buyout and whatever. But yeah, they right now are in a worse spot than a team without a head coach in UCLA.
We're in LA.
Right.
I don't know if they're in a worse spot than UCLA. UCLA has Nico, which can cover over a lot of things. I don't know how that does these teams moving forward. I'm guessing though, hey, we're all on the same page. We're in this together. Yeah, because they've said, let's get through this year. And then I'm guessing Bill is going to head off into some kind of broadcasting job.
Do you think that they can afford to wait? Because the buyout here is $1 million. This ain't Franklin, $56 million. We've seen UCLA, Virginia Tech. Who am I missing? Who's the third?
Arkansas has got an interim.
Arkansas. Yeah.
Also, Kent State and Stanford will be available.
Yeah. So those first three, though, you've seen, hey, this ain't it. What we see in college football now is if you're going to make a decision, it's almost like if you can afford to, now. Cut it off, get the new guy in there, try to have momentum. UCLA's trying to do that. Arkansas's trying to do that. It's tough. The way that the calendar of the sport works right now, there's really no good time to do it. I do think moving the portal back to January buys them a little bit of time in December, but you still have that signing day in December.
I guess the thing I would ask is how much more damage could Belichick do? Now, if you could get someone in there, because I'm guessing you're not going to hire a full-time replacement until after the season, so I don't think it would help you in recruiting at all. And that would be the thing, if you could get a new guy in there and you could start on the recruiting and try to get that fixed. But I do think there's probably worse people these guys can learn football from, at least, than Bill Belichick. So
that's fact.
Maybe they want him around at least teaching these guys football the rest of the year.
Bake, according to the reports, he's not even doing that.
Yeah, they're on a bye.
Like he's completely absent.
And isn't returning phone calls.
Right.
This is Bill Belichick.
Just
mess. New phone who dis to his employees.
It's crazy what's being reported down there. So something to watch. Baseball last night, I did paratroop in on a little bit of this. There's something about Yankee Stadium in October that still gets the feels for me when I see it. The one thing that makes it feel even better is when somebody goes in there and wins, and this time it was the Toronto Blue Jays. They make their first ALCS appearance since 2016. This has been a long time since the Yankees have won a championship by their standards. What is it, like 2009?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Is that it? With Rodriguez, A-Rod, and those guys? That was like the last time that they won it? I mean, that's a long stretch for them without winning one. There was a stretch they had from the early 80s until they won it in, 96? That was a long stretch, too. But this has been a very, very long stretch with them. Without winning one. Tigers tied their series with the Mariners with a 9-3 win in Detroit, so they'll play a deciding Game 5 on Friday. Then the Phillies do the smart thing, and they wear the baby blues, and they go out to L.A. and beat up the Dodgers 8-2. The Cubbies avoided elimination with a 4-3 win over the Brewers. Who are you guys rooting for in all this?
Probably Brewers. Probably just the Brewers. Brewers, Blue Jays, Milwaukee, Toronto.
I can't, maybe the Blue Jays. I'd have to think about that because they have not done it in a long time.
Yeah.
I can't root for the Brewers or the Cubs. Get the hell out of here with both of those teams. Listen,
What about my poor Dodgers? Just trying to put a couple of
it's scrappy ball clubs
just
from Los Angeles.
Little team trying to scratch a two nickels together to make payroll work. Bake. You can't root for my boys.
Well, hold on. I was just going to say that I kind of enjoy greatness. So maybe I am rooting for the Dodgers and Shohei in this thing.
Maybe the Mariners.
You got Mary Hart front row. Your boy Magic Johnson, mine as well. He's usually in the front row. Like, what else do you need for the scrappy little boys from the West Coast?
I love Magic. Is there anything that looks more out of place, though, than a 6'9" dude his size standing up behind home plate clapping while everybody else is sitting?
I get so much family who loves the Mariners, so I'd love to see the Mariners get there too. It'd be cool to see a couple of something like that. Who's never won it in that type of spot would be cool if they were able to get there. So keep an eye on it. And it was fun a little bit last night to watch a couple of innings of October baseball with from Yankee Stadium. All right, coming up next, order restored college football. Julian Sayin, everybody talking about the kid and what took so long. We'll get to all of that. 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
October is Car Care Month. Visit your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid October 1st through October 31st. See store for details.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Football season's heating up and so are the deals at your main Toyota. Right now, drive home a rugged 2025 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% APR for up to 48 months, or go big with the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, also 2.99 APR for up to 72 months. Built tough, built smart, built for what whatever your game day brings. Find your next Toyota at Germain Toyota at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or start your next adventure online at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus. See dealer for details.
Away game this week, but that just means you can make the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus your home for Saturday football. Join the fan for the tailgate show and then party with us with the ultimate watch party. We have football contests with amazing prizes. There's wall-to-wall screens, ticket and memorabilia giveaways, and unbeatable game day food. Can't wait to see you at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Saturday. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. This is the tweet. God, talk about straight facts. If the kid at Texas would have had the start that Julian Sayin is having here for Ohio State, he'd be first in the Heisman voting. Davey O'Brien talks, and any other major award at the end of the season. Put some respect on what he's doing. Signed, Troy Smith. Yeah. Fair. We've been on Julian from jump. I remember 2 years ago at camp watching him throw, and immediately you were like, whoa, that's different. And I think, and we had some praise this year when we were at camp too. And I think Lincoln fought like hell, and I think he's a heck of a competitor. And I think that there's a chance that he'd have the exact same record if he was there at quarterback. It would look different. It wouldn't look the way that it looks with Julian, for sure. But the ceiling with Julian is obviously so high. And the way that Ryan Day has brought him along with Hartline and Fessler, is nothing short of a masterclass. Because what you've gotten is a little bit more water turned on every single week. And what you've gotten with that is a quarterback who somehow, some way, with a little bit of water turned on every week, is getting better and better each week, and has already faced the task of beating the number one team in the country on his home field, and going to a place where they hadn't lost in 22 straight games in a good team. Washington is a good team. Put some respect on Washington. They should be ranked in the top 25. He went out there and won. Then he comes back and home, competes 80% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and everyone's starting to take notice. It's not just Troy. PFF starting to take notice. Guys who talk college football around the country starting to take notice. So why did all of this happen? Well, first of all, he had to perform, and he has. The other thing that's happened is most of the other guys that we were talking about at the beginning of the season playing that position in college football have come up well short of what we expected them to be. And it's not just Arch Manning. It's Cade Klubnik. It's Nussmeier. It's DJ Legway. No one has separated. Who was playing the best quarterback in the country other than Julian the first month of the season was John Mateer, and then he got hurt. And so we haven't seen him even. So Julian has elevated because there was a gap for him to elevate up into. And what we see now is a nation starting to pay attention to a kid who so far is completing 80% of his passes for 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. This is a stunning ascent for Julian. It all starts with his accuracy. This is Ryan Day on his quarterback talking about just that.
I thought some of the throws downfield were very, very accurate, made good decisions. Again, saw it well. But, when you can be accurate underneath and get the ball out quick, but then also down the field, that's when our offense can really be clicking on all cylinders. So we're going to watch this film and see some things that we're frustrated with. We know where we need to go and got to keep getting better. You keep hearing me talk about that because that's just the way it goes. You have to upgrade every week. But I do think that Julian's confidence is building, and I think his teammates, their confidence in him have continued to build over time. And again, I give the offensive line credit for working and straining to give him time back there. I give the running backs credit for their protection and also the receivers for their work every day in practice, because that's how it works. That's how teams get better. And so we have to continue to recognize that, because it's not normal. And that, to me, is what's going to make the difference for where we need to be.
Here's Ryan on that confidence and a little bit how they've slow played this, but it's working.
I definitely think that, he's building confidence in himself, but I think that the players, really have a lot of confidence in him right now. And that's important. And, we feel like, when the defense is playing well, you're able to, continually put things on his plate and allow him to get better at those things and focus on, whatever those additions might be and not get put into bad situations. And, we wanted to challenge him in this game and thought he handled it really well, made some really good decisions, really located the ball down the field well, taking care of the ball. So all of those things are important and good to see the ball getting spread around. A lot of guys touch the ball again, and so that was great. And we also, mixed the tempo up a little bit, so that was something we wanted to do in the game. Not a ton, but just enough. So I think all those things were positives coming out of the game.
Is there a coach in college football currently, and it's coming on the other side of the ball too, but is there a coach in college football currently who has more trust in the football community in developing NFL players than Ryan Day does?
No.
I mean, I'll wait.
Nobody with more.
No, and you watch it. If you're Tavian St. Clair and you're going to be next, so you're going to, we're way out in front of ourselves, but you're thinking about Julian this year, Julian next year, then Tavian. If you're Tavian St. Clair, you're watching this and you're going, holy cow, that's going to be me. And I'm going to start for 2, and then I'm going to go to the league because Julian's going to be, you think what he's going to be like next year? With another year in the system, physically growing another year, what he's going to be next year? This kid is on track. He's on a top 5 pick in the NFL draft track. Like, you just watch him. Just juxtapose the way he looks throwing a football to the way Arch Manning looks throwing a football right now. Both of them were number 1 quarterbacks, depending on the services you paid attention to coming out of high school. Just look at how one's been brought along, by the way, in 2 years, and how the other one's been brought along in 3. If you're a high school quarterback and you're going Texas, Ohio State, is that a talking point? Not if you're a serious person, I don't think it is. Not if you want to get to the league, I don't think it is. I think what they've done with Julian, he deserves a ton of credit. A ton of credit. This is a California kid coming in here to this behemoth. Initially, he's at Alabama, then he paratroops in here. His talent, he's not, by all accounts, he's not the most chesty person in terms of vocal and loud and rah-rah guy, but it's coming. It's coming, and it's coming with the confidence. But what he relied on is his ability and how he would thrive in this system. And they've taken care of him. And now look, everyone's talking about the kid.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's never going to be the Will Howard type of leader. But I think having Will Howard on the team last year gave the Buckeyes that kind of sat back and watched everything the understanding of what it takes to win from a consistency standpoint, from a work standpoint, not necessarily from I'm going to fire you up every single week type of deal. But I think to Julian's leadership, which will never be the fiery guy, but it'll be the cool confidence. It'll be the nothing's ever going to be too big. There's not going to be any moment where the lights are too bright for Julian. And he turned 20 in July. Like, he's a couple months into his 20s, and there's already an understanding that there isn't anybody with a higher ceiling in college football, and there isn't anybody throwing the ball more accurately and making any better decisions than Julian.
I think sometimes we penalize people, and we've seen this with quarterbacks at Ohio State going into the league, and sometimes it has turned out to be true in some cases, but sometimes we penalize these quarterbacks because, oh my gosh, he's throwing to Jeremiah Smith. He's throwing to Carnell Tate. He's throwing to Max Clare.
Yep.
Look at that offensive line. Look at Bo Jackson. C.J. Donaldson's pretty good. So sometimes I think we penalize an Ohio State quarterback because they have all these weapons and the team is so good. And listen, Julian's in his 5th. He's had 5 starts in college football. So it's understandable why some people would not know who he was coming into this season unless you really pay attention to college football and really pay attention to Ohio State in general. But I think sometimes these guys get penalized. And coming into this season, it was kind of like, it doesn't matter who starts a quarterback for Ohio State because they're going to be good regardless because they got Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. And while that may be true, you mentioned it, Bo, they could be 5-0 with Lincoln Kienholz at quarterback, but this offense wouldn't look the way that it does right now. You wouldn't have 1,300 yards passing. You'd have a lot more yards on the ground probably, and that's okay. Yeah. And there's two different paths that you can take to winning, right? But it just, Julian, his decision-making, his accuracy, all of it just seems to be there. And the kid's a lot more athletic than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he is. He's starting to get. There was that moment, actually, Ryan called the timeout on the 4th and 1 where he snuck it, and he had like that grin as he was making the play call in the huddle. A little bit of a cat ate the canary. Like, I know this is going to work. Those type of moments are the things I look for in a kid. And can you imagine being Illinois Saturday and trying to decide, what are we going to try to take away here? Because the way the kid's throwing the ball down the field, you've got to defend every blade of grass against this Buckeye team. And if Bo Jackson can keep coming the way that he has been, good luck. Good luck. Because Julian's arm talent is better than Will's, and he's more accurate than Will. So what do you attempt to take away? Beats me. Beats me. All while dealing with a defense that is the best in the country. And knowing that we're going to be held to probably our statistical lows when we play them. And now we got to stop this. This is where his growth, as good as he's been, as quick as he's been, allows for us to say, without an ounce of hyperbole, best team in the country, highest ceiling. It really all came. You go back to our 3 things we did week 1. We just needed to see it from the kid. Well, we've seen it, and he's balled out. 80% completion rate, only quarterback in the country who is as accurate as that. One day after a surprising trade, the Cleveland Browns pull another trade. We'll make sense of this one coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit BlueJackets.com.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED and low T can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 614-300-7400. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at ColumbusMen'sClinic.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, low T, Peyronie's, size, and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic workouts and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 614-300-7400 or book in 30 seconds or less at ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
You've heard about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yeah, that's an old one. My dad told that one to me. But when it's your real feet, it's not a game. It's awful. Hey, it's Anthony. I had pain in my feet and my lower back, so I went to the Good Feet store and got the support I needed in my shoes that changed the game for me. I went in and they personally fit me for arch supports that would be perfect for my feet. The fitting process is simple. They ask the right questions about exactly what I was experiencing and the lifestyle I want to be able to live. They professionally measured my feet and arch size, and before I knew it, I was wearing my new arch supports home. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put into all of my shoes. Get professionally fitted at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And today we're in my showroom so you can hear how our windows keep sound out.
It's pretty loud in here, Wilson.
Well, Leslie, that's because the window's open. But if you close it like so, well, it's kind of good to let in a little nature.
I I think nature just honked at us, Wilson. Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, The Ultimate OSU Football Insiders. You know it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
At Logan Services, we're more than heating and air. We're a family-owned business that puts people first. For decades, we've built our reputation on honesty, hard work, and treating your home like it's our own. From the first phone call to the final handshake, you'll work with a caring, local team that shows up on time and does the job right. Because comfort isn't about temperature, it's about integrity. Logan Services, family-owned, people-focused, and proud to serve its customers.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain for Toyota West. And with over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of 0 down and 0 payments until 2026. And every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. Offer expires 9/30, no payments for deferred payment. Interest accrues at time of inception with approved credit.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. Last night, just one day after trading Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns sent cornerback Greg Newsome in 2026 6th to Jacksonville in exchange for corner Tyson Campbell in 2026 7th. Newsome was a first-round pick, 26th overall in 2021, in the last year of a contract that pays him $13.38 million. He was having his best year, I think, as a Browns corner. He was thrust into that number 2 spot opposite Denzel Ward when the injury to MJ Emerson happened at the start of training camp. He is naturally better, I think, in zone systems than man, which is what Jim Schwartz wants to play. And so I think schematically there's some stuff that makes sense here. Campbell coming back the other way, former second-round pick out of Georgia in the 2021 draft. He has already done an extension, 4 years, 76.5, $53.4 million guaranteed. So that tells you what Jacksonville thought of him a year ago. They trade him now. He's off to a little bit of a slow start, but he's bigger and he's more of a man corner. Here's the other thing from the Cleveland perspective that makes sense in this deal. They saved some cap space on this thing. I want to say it's over $8 million in cap in 2025. And remember, they're going to have some big-time cap issues to deal with for 2026. So that's something to pay attention to on this as well. I don't think that this signals any sort of tank or anything like that, because I think they probably view this as a scheme fit, cap fit situation. Not to suggest that won't be what happens down the road. Like, there are a lot of guys on expiring contracts who they could deal as this season goes along, and all of those things, I suppose, are in play. But I don't think that this deal on its own is a signal of a tank.
Yeah, I read this as the Browns want to get better down the road, and the Jaguars need to get better now. And that, to me, works. Like, okie silly dilly dokey, yo. You can have this to clear up some cap space. It's nothing lost on me how good Greg Newsome is, but how sometimes he does things that make you want to pull the great hair out of your head.
Yeah.
But I think that's the way with most corners, most defensive backs in the league, especially for teams that aren't great. And so I think this helps the Jaguars now. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, at their best, and with a healthy Martin Emerson, he would have been the inside slot corner. And Emerson and Ward would have been on the outside. So he's most comfortable being able to have his eyes in the defensive backfield, in the offensive backfield. That's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah, Bo, I was reading a little bit about this trade last night, and the scheme thing did make sense. And it sounds like that the Browns and Newsome just weren't going to reach a contract. The Browns weren't going to be able to give Newsome a number that he wanted. So it was better to get him out of here and bring someone else in that could maybe help you, give you some more options and whatnot moving forward. And listen, I have no problem with Greg Newsome's play on the field. I thought at times he was a really, really effective player. I will not miss the dancing after an 8-yard gain on 1st and 10, though. Like, that can just get out of here. Couldn't get out of here fast enough.
He can dance in Duval.
He can Duval it right up. All right. This was yesterday. This was Kevin Stefanski. The first question at his press conference yesterday was about, and this tells you all you need to know about how awkward that situation potentially can be. The first question at his press conference to discuss the Joe Flacco trade was about the backup quarterback. Let's have a listen.
Decided if Shedeur is going to be your number 2 active quarterback for this weekend yet?
Well, first I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming. They called us, and it happened very fast and happened not too long ago. So still working through all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. But with young players, I'm always thinking about. Last week, making the change to Dylan, you have to think long and hard about that, because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out, make a decision later on that.
What might be the drawback to doing something like that?
Yeah, I trust in all of our players. I trust in their ability and those type of things. I just always want to set our guys up for success. Bottom line.
So, like Monday afternoon, you didn't plan on trading Joe Flacco?
No.
Okay. What I'm curious about is how you guys read the first part of that, where he said, took us by surprise. What was your read of that?
Bengals called them.
Yeah, that's how I kind of took it. Like, I don't think they were looking to move Flacco, but when a deal fell in their lap, they were like, okay.
So you guys are very astute, and that's the right way to take it. There are a great many people locally up there and nationally who took it as if Andrew Berry surprised Kevin Stefanski with the trade of Joe Flacco.
Well, that's silly.
Well,
those guys have been hand in hand in everything since. Okay.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
Guys,
they have been hand in hand in everything.
We got to do better than this.
Yeah.
And
so
I saw
that's how it was taken. And I'm like, no, you have that wrong. You guys read it right. It was a surprise to them that the Bengals called them. It happened quickly, and that's what happened. There is nothing, whether you agree with it or not, there is nothing that happens up there without Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, and probably Paul DePodesta all green lighting. They're the ones handling the football decisions. If it's a massive decision, then ownership would obviously get involved in that, and they would run it up the flagpole with ownership. But that's the triumvirate that's making the football decisions. And they don't do something without the other one green lighting it. And so it was taken way out of context. And just, I think sometimes you just hear what you want to hear, maybe, and you want to have seeds of discontent.
That does happen up there.
It does. But yeah, no, you guys heard it correctly, that they were surprised by it.
And I think there's worse things, right, than having Joe Flacco, even though he's not playing, being here mentoring these young quarterbacks. And I do think it's kind of weird that, and listen, Bailey Zappi's been around the league, right, but he doesn't have the experience that Joe Flacco has. It is, and I guess Deshaun Watson's still around too, but I do think it's kind of weird that you would not have a veteran mentoring these young guys, and all of that, the speculation, as you said, like, oh, Barry and Stefanski aren't on the same page. That led to people saying, well, Shedeur is obviously Andrew Berry's guy, and Dylan Gabriel's Kevin Stefanski's guy, and just trying to create a bigger divide.
I can put that red yarn on a corkboard.
Start drawing.
I can do that, yeah.
Why are you getting that tinfoil out, Reese?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the one thing I will say. Some of it, I think most of it unintentionally, they have put Dylan Gabriel in really tough spots. Because if Shedeur is the backup, the next time that they play a home game and he struggles, that crowd is going to flip. Because everybody wants to see that kid play. And it's going to flip. And I do think that Flacco was kind of a shield for that. So is that worth a fifth-round pick? I guess we'll see what they do with the fifth-round picks. But I do think that he provided cover for what I think they want to be a very long runway with Dylan Gabriel to see what he's all about. And now that he's gone, that cover goes with him. And so I think there's just going to be a lot on Dylan Gabriel. and I think he can handle it, but it's a lot on a rookie quarterback. Second hour of the program coming up next. 10:30, Paul Finebaum will join us. We'll open up that mailbag coming up next. It's a full loaded mailbag. Lots of good stuff. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
This month only, new car leases start at $99 a month. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit on 25 Elantra SE, $39.95 down plus tax, title, and fees. Ends 11/3.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone here for Window Nation. Columbus, October is here, and with good weather comes more home improvement projects. Do you have old, stuck, or cracked windows that you've been putting off replacing? Well, Window Nation Columbus can help. This month, when you buy 2 windows, you'll get 2 more for free. There's no limit to how many windows you replace, and your total price includes 1-day installation. With Window Nation, you also won't have to make any payments for 2 years, which is a big deal with the holiday season coming up. And did I mention you could celebrate your newly upgraded home with 2 free tickets to an upcoming Ohio State football game? What other company in Columbus would thank you for replacing all your windows in your home with a fun experience like that? Put an end to your window problems before this beautiful fall weather ends. Now through October 31st, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free now, plus pay nothing for 2 years with Window Nation, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit windownation.com today to start your free estimate. That's windownation.com.
Hey there, you've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt. But you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. But listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. That's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. Cash out your entire home's value and stay put. Truehold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. Imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt. And you can stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. Get your all-cash offer now. Call 1-855-300-9993. Again, that's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Blue Jackets begin the regular season tonight in Nashville. Face off in game 1 of 82 against the Predators is 8 o'clock. Hear that game on the Fan with coverage at 7:30. Head coach Dean Evison says Jet Greaves will get the nod in net tonight. Right winger Yegor Chinnikov will be a healthy scratch on Thursday. Jackets are in Minnesota Saturday against the Wild, then will return to Columbus to host the New Jersey Devils Monday night at 7 o'clock. In the NFL last night, the Browns traded cornerback Greg Newsome to the Jaguars in exchange for cornerback Tyson Campbell. Cleveland's at Pittsburgh Sunday at 1. Week 6 in the league begins tonight with the Giants hosting the Eagles at 8:15. In college football, number 1 Ohio State's at Illinois Saturday at noon. The Ryan Day Radio Show comes your way today at noon. This update is sponsored by Green & Sons, family owned and operated for over 45 years. Find your next Kubota tractor at Green & Sons, located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville in Raymond.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Thursday. Paul Finebaum dropping by in 29 minutes. Between now and then, time to open up that mailbag.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
Tons of them. A lot of good ones. Let's start with Alex. The topic, Ohio Stadium experience. It's been a hot topic this fall. I went to the Minnesota game last Saturday. Excited to see the changes to the in-stadium experience. To be honest, the atmosphere felt much the same as when I remember from my days as a student, class of 2011, which is to say it was phenomenal. The band, the fans, the team, all of it. I completely understand the need to adapt and improve, but the core experience remains undefeated. Parenthetically, that's how I felt too. I thought it was great. Unsurprisingly, the camp song definitely did not hit. It took me a moment to even notice it was playing. The accompanying video is extremely well done, but I found myself watching it with no interest in learning the words to sing along. As you've highlighted, it's essential to pick a song that everybody already knows. I agree. It would only add that the adoption also needs to be organic. Nobody really likes to be told they are required to start a new tradition, especially at Ohio State where tradition runs deep. Then he goes on to talk about how Shout at Oregon or Mr. Brightside or Jump Around, all of those things kind of took off organically. He references that the 09 game when USC was here, they were playing the Black Eyed Peas song, I Got a Feeling, and that kind of took off a little bit too. He's dead right on that. And his recommendation is play a variety of fun songs, and it eventually will take off organically on its own. I don't know if Won't Back Down became something at the University of Florida where they said when Tom Petty passed, we're doing this, and everybody just followed. I don't know the same thing about Eastbound and Down at Florida State. If when Burt Reynolds passed, they said we're doing this, and everybody started doing it, or if it happened organically. But he's dead right. It's got to be something that everybody knows. P.S. Every time you talk about NCAA leadership, I can't help but think of when George went to work for Kruger Industrial Smoothing. The business is on fire, and they are all in the boardroom eating shrimp and deciding on nicknames with this leadership vision. Mr. Kruger would fit right in at the NCAA. According to our latest quarterly thing, Kruger Industries Smoothing is heading into the red or the black or whatever the bad one is. Any thoughts? Kruger
might be overqualified.
George's time at Kruger was unreal. It was unreal. I haven't thought about that in a long time. It was fantastic. All right, longtime listener. This one from Eric. I really enjoy your current lineup this past weekend. I had taken my family and wife and 2 kids to the Buckeye game. We had people yelling at us to sit down. Apparently, they like a calm night game atmosphere. Maybe too many nooners for them. I say if you want to sit down, do so from the comfort of your living room. What do you say? So my experience with this was that the crowd kind of had it right. That they stood when they knew to stand, sat when they needed to sit. I've heard this complaint a lot, though. that people that are trying to get fired up want to stand in the game and people want them to sit. I don't have an official stance on that. Where do you guys come on? I think you just kind of read the room with it, is my experience, but
we as a society are really bad at that.
Yeah.
I am, it is situational. I think if you want to stand in certain moments and cheer, then you should allow fans to do that if you are one that wants to sit. But I think if someone's standing for the entire game, then maybe it'd be okay to just say, can we have a peaceful interaction? That doesn't happen anymore either. But just to say, maybe not do it for the entire time.
If you don't have one of the seat backs, it's more comfortable to stand, quite honestly.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of my experience.
I think it is. It's kind of a feel thing, but if I'm at a game, I'm never going to get on someone for trying to get their team to go in whatever way possible.
2 here. This one from Roy, longtime listener of the show. Randomly hit me how you always are trying to find a song for our crowd to use. I'm telling you guys, I get 10 of these a week.
Sorry.
What about Radio Gaga by Queen? It's a classic. It's very easy for the crowd to sing along with, plus adding to the clapping in there. Also, my thought to put our own spin on it, really, is to just do the chorus and the last line when Freddie sings radio and it's dragged out a little bit. We hit an H-I-O in the same place as the song. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I know this song. If I heard it, I don't know it by name. I don't know Radio Gaga.
That's the biggest problem right there.
I don't know it by name. Do you guys know it by name?
I don't know it by name.
I do, but that was going to be my pushback. Was I don't think anybody knows exactly when you hear it, you know it, you would sing along to it. Yeah. I actually think the idea behind it is great, but when you put it in a press release or you do it, or when you make that announcement, you're going to get 90% of people going, "What? Which one is that? Is that the Champions one?"
Right. This one from TK, another one on the song. Bo, the song is easy. It should be Ride by 21 Pilots. They're both from here. It's easy to remember and sing along with. I just don't think old people know the song at all. I just don't think the more I keep doing this, I just kind of keep coming back to, like, it's got to be something like Friends in Low Places, where the barrier to entry is so low. Does everybody know that song?
They do. I just don't know if that's going to get me fired up at a football game.
It's not about fired up, though. I think that's the other disconnect.
Involvement.
I just want to.
You're not getting fired up by singing Rocky Top or Dixieland Delight or calling on Baton Rouge. It doesn't have to be that. It's just everyone's got to know it.
Can we just maybe not worry about the end of the first quarter?
Yes.
I wonder when the point is we just stop having these, like, we stop worrying about this.
I think they just want those Instagram hits, like the one from Florida last week when they're all singing it a cappella. And it's a cool thing when that stuff happens. You just want those moments, but you can't force it. I think the emailer who talked about it happening organically has got it right. It's just something that you stumble into.
So then maybe you create like a Spotify playlist, and just after every game you play a song, you play another song, you play another song, a different song every game, and see.
I think that's what they want.
Pick like
social
10
media.
Yeah, of course. Pick like 10 and see what hits, and just play them until one of them hits, and then soon enough one of them will. You'll stumble into it. I feel bad for all the strays the camp guys are getting on this. It's not their fault, Like
the check they got from Ohio State was probably fine.
This one from Scott: Tony Petitti, not a weenie. That's great.
You sure?
All summer, all summer we waited for Tony Petitti to surface from his perpetual hiding spot underneath his mother's bed. When he finally did, we all sighed, winced, even grimaced with disbelief. Our beloved Buckeyes joined to the hip of a conference that came out of meetings, not chest-thumping a stronger than ever mantra, but a feeble plea for automatic qualifiers. 1 month in, does Tony Petitti have a point? I realize this sounds crazy after Franklin got driven off the field by dozens of UCLA faithful, but the SEC has 8 dart throws at the top 15 board with Vandy sitting in the rear clutching the last life vest of the sinking SEC ship. Does the big need automatic qualifiers until the rest of the voters put some respect on the names of USC, Washington, even Nebraska? I'm sure that weeks to come in the College Football Committee will strengthen some of this out, but I digress. He's got a hell of a point. We lament about this all the time. I wouldn't go about it that way with the automatic qualifiers. I think it'll work itself out. But we went through this. And said, why are all of these teams ranked? What have they done, and why aren't these ranked? And there is still a tremendous built-in bias for that conference.
And
I'm not saying Tony's got a point, though.
Well, Petiti the Weedy. It'll be something until another conference changes the narrative, right? And maybe it won't because ESPN's the SEC network. And then maybe when the new rights deal comes up and the Big Ten jumps back into bed with the worldwide leader, it's a different thing. But there are metrics like the S&P or the S&P Plus that like the SEC.
Yeah.
Bo, I'm with you. These things sort themselves out, right? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, the Big Ten had 3 of the top 4 teams in the country.
Yeah. And it'll work out fine. I do think that there is a disconnect between who's good in the SEC in the middle. They all get the benefit of the doubt. Like, they just can't wait to rank the next one. Who's got next to get ranked? This one from Jeff. The NFL success in the Browns gives us some flowers for the program, then says, great minds think alike. When you did your segment on NFL success on Tuesday's show this week, the teams that are really bad in the NFL right now, the Jets, the Browns, the Giants, the Tennessee Titans, Carolina, are all teams that have historically been pretty bad. Somehow the teams that are run good, Steelers, Patriots, Chiefs, Denver, even if they have some short downtime, find a way to win and draft well and retool. That's not by accident. It's really hard to be bad for long periods of time in the NFL. You've mentioned it before that parity is built into everything they do. Every team truly starts at the 1-yard line in terms of revenue, salary cap, draft order, all of it. Again, it's really, really hard to be bad for a long time. It's designed for retooling or quick 2-3 year turnarounds. You have the right people and a good owner that lets football guys do football things or is really smart and makes good moves. I watched Drake May on Sunday night, and the Patriots only had 2 bad seasons since Brady left. Those 2 seasons were when they had 4 losses netted them Drake May, who won in Buffalo on prime time and was stiff-arming guys making throws. I thought to myself, how many more 4-win seasons do the Browns have to have before we get that? Patriots fans only had to suffer 2 seasons, really, and they're back. The Browns really cursed. It's not fair, and it shows you how terrible you have to be as an organization to sustainably bad in the NFL. Thanks for all you do, and keep up the good work, as always. There's going to be, at some point, there's going to be the end of, there was a moment there where they made the playoffs twice, got a playoff one in Pittsburgh with Baker, and then that next season, the 21 season, it's just crazy how off the rails that got so quickly for them, because they had guys in their prime all coming together, and some of it's on Bakes, it's on the organization, who knows, but there was that is a inflection point for the franchise right there. And now I've always said I don't think that the Baker you're getting in Tampa would have happened in Cleveland, because I don't think they trusted him and he didn't trust them, and it was a mess, really was. And another team bailed on him too, Carolina. And they bailed on him and Darnold, but he's looking pretty dang good, and a lot of credit goes to him. He had a great bite actually yesterday, where somebody asked him about him giving the business to the fan in Seattle, and he said, same blank, different day. He goes, I did that when I was a rookie, and it was considered immature and arrogant. I do it now, and I'm a dog. He's right. That's what winning does. Last one for this segment, NFL TV ratings. Well, I know the NFL TV ratings are always king, but I've started to realize that one of the reasons I enjoy college football more than the NFL is that on Saturdays, I can flip between a half dozen games at one time compared to Sundays when I'm lucky to have 2 NFL games to flip to. This made me wonder if it had a lot to do with how the ratings are playing out. If people have 6 games to choose from then compared to 1 or 2, that's going to make a big difference. Here's my thoughts on that, Nate. You're right, and I think it makes what NCAA football is doing from a rating standpoint all the more remarkable. And it's really widely undervalued in terms of what its television partners are going to provide it. All right, coming up next, we'll continue. I got a great one on from a listener on Tim and Dom that I can't wait to read for you. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You know what my favorite place in the world to watch a game is? It's the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. This is Scotty Vegas, and Dave Biddle and I get to visit our favorite game-watching spot twice in 1 week. Sunday, October 12th, watch the Browns Steelers. Then Thursday, October 16th, we're back for the Steelers Bengals. deals. I have Browns tickets, Pro Football Hall of Fame passes, and dining credits to give out during the games at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Football season's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota. Right now, drive home a rugged 2025 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% APR for up to 48 months, or go big with the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, also 2.99 APR for up to 72 months. Built tough, built smart, built for whatever your game day brings. Find your next Toyota at Germain Toyota at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or start your next adventure online at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus. See dealer for details.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine. Give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my goodness. Give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew. Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Earn 2% cash back on purchases and pay 0% APR on balance transfers for 15 months with a new Kemba Financial Credit Union Visa. That's more rewards and less interest. Apply at Kemba.org. For purchases and balance transfers made in the first 90 days, restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Variable and subject to change. Equal opportunity lender. Expires 10/31/25.
The wait is over. I will wait Mumford & Sons return. Live in Columbus. See them performing this Sunday at Nationwide Arena with special guests Steven Sanchez and the Barr Brothers. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The brand new album, Rushmere, is available everywhere now. For more, visit MumfordandSons.com. Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports ball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Really feeling like fall today? You probably want to bring a light jacket if you get cold easily. We'll see temperatures in the mid-60s with lots of sunshine. For tonight, temperatures plunge overnight with clear skies and lows in the 30s, so we might see some patchy areas of frost. And then for Friday, we get a little bit warmer with plenty of sun and highs in the low 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are sponsored proudly by our friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. A few more in the mailbag on this fine Thursday morning. This one from Brad, 3 things on a Thursday, so he clearly gets the show. First, know that I'm a lowercase m man. I'm 38. I only had the context for my third thing. Please make a T-shirt or number one. Please make a T-shirt or sticker for Bake that says "and listen." He goes, "I kid because I love." That's great. Did you realize you say it?
No, I don't pay attention to what I say half the time.
Number two, I watched Commando for the first time in a good 20-plus years over the weekend because I could not believe that it went over well with your son. But, boy, that thing still rules. Though, sadly, I don't think Weekend at Bernie's holds up. So I'm excited to hear his and your take on that. We may try that out this weekend. Of course, Commando holds up. It's 90 minutes. It's very difficult for me to not go Commando. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's just explosions and goofy villains in Chainville. He kills a lot. A lot of people die in that movie.
He kills 1,000 people.
A lot of department store mannequins get blown up, too.
Jeez. He's got all this time at the Army Navy to come up with his arsenal.
Yeah.
It all happens. Number three, before this one starts, know that I have no idea what reminded me of some years ago. He goes, I don't use Q-tips in my ears because in the 90s, which was more my wheelhouse than the 80s, there was a huge push in my school to tell you how bad it is to put them in your ears, so I essentially scared of it. Instead, I use an electric ear wash system that is chargeable, and it rinses everything out. It works really well. Highly recommended. Have you heard of such a thing?
Yeah, I know those things exist. Like, they also have they're like these things that have cameras on them that you can stick in your ear. You can watch the thing go into your ear on your cell phone. I just have never had a problem with Q-tips because I'm not jamming them into my brain. I'm just using them to scoop.
I think this started because I said there's never been a product on the face of the earth that most people use them for that it expressly says on the box, do not put in your ear.
And I never noticed that till you said it.
Yeah. They say don't do it. And I do it every day. Did it this morning. This apparently the Sausage King of Chicago is listening to the show. This one from Abe Froman, a Dom, Tim, and Arch story. Big time listener for a long time. Said the show got him through living in Birmingham and Athens and South Florida. I have two stories. One is Tim and Archie. The other is Dom being Dom, and I'll keep it as short as possible. My Tim and Arch story. When I was in grade school, I was unfortunately very sick, which took me out of school for some time. Tim's son was in my class, so Tim, being the guy that he is, arranged Archie to stop by my house and meet me. Of course, Arch, being the man he is, agreed. Arch just knocks on the door. I answer. I'll never forget Archie asking, do you know who I am? And I said, Eddie George. I was 10. He laughed, came in, sat at my kitchen table for a few hours, and just talked ball. We just won the O2 title, so we had plenty to talk about. I thanked Arch that day, but never got a chance to thank Tim for setting that up. If you read this, please do that for me. That's who Tim May is. That's who he is. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Abe gets in the YouTube chat sometimes, so I've seen Abe in there. And funny story, one time, kind of similar to that, my buddy met Gene Smith, like saw Gene Smith somewhere at a gas station or something, and he was kept kind of like looking at him because he's like, oh yeah, and Gene like went up and introduced him, said, hi, you know who I am, and he was like, yeah, you're Archie Griffin. Totally joking with him, but
of course, that's a nice line. Then he has a Dom story. Years later, I found myself well again and playing football at Derby. Our freshman team was undefeated, and somehow or another, Dom heard about it and told our team if we went undefeated, he would have the whole team on wall-to-wall sports. We went out. Now it's showtime. We're all going to be on TV. We have arrived. Whole team crammed into the studio, ready for our moment. We are all handed a Chipotle burrito. God, this is funny because I remember this. The very last segment of the show ends. Camera hits us. Dom proceeds to do a 10-second hit on their sponsor, Chipotle. We all stood there staring blankly into the camera with a burrito in a hand and cut. I cannot confirm if you were in the building for that. Not sure what we were all expecting, but damn good burrito. Thanks for the show, Abe Froman. I remember those days very well. Like cameras getting people eating Donatos and Chipotle and all that stuff. I guarantee I was in the building for that. I remember this. I remember a lot of this about this. We would do that from time to time. Someone would say, hey, could we come on wall? You get an email. Our little team went undefeated. This did this. And then they would come in. And I don't know what they were expecting either. Like as if we were going to make it like the whole part of the show. But basically they were like in the background, if you guys remember old wall-to-wall sports with the crowds.
I remember there was Donato's Pizza almost every show back in the day.
Every Sunday.
5 of them.
There was every Sunday. Yeah, that was Sunday dinner for me for about 8 years. This one from Tanner. Kevin Warren pisses you off again. For the email segment, I'm a master's student working on my thesis, which concerns media bias and coverage relating to ESPN and Fox, and a bunch of other stuff the audience probably doesn't find interesting. However, in my research, I was looking at total appearances in the AP poll for Georgia and Ohio State. While I'm no Ohio State fan, I would say that it's a shame that Georgia and Bama both have appeared in every AP poll since 2020, which is 82 total, while Ohio State ranks third with 80 total appearances and have an 80 to 82 only because the Big Ten football season was canceled. Just a complete joke. How can there not be a fixing of the stats? It also took away Ohio State's record for most consecutive weeks in the poll. Kevin Warren, man. Also, when you're looking for characters like Gundy, the success isn't there year to year other than beating the rival, which is all that matters to most fans. Rich Rod is back at West by God, Virginia, and he's a character the sports need and someone the state of West Virginia needs. He is. He is. And I hope that he has some success over there. Tanner goes ahead and writes some other, apparently God bless you, buddy. I actually direct messaged him. I found him on Twitter, and I'm happy to help in any way I can. And thank you for the loyal listenership through these many years. We got time for, an update from Mike. Mike's the guy whose daughter took him to on his 50th birthday to the Buckeye game. This is the thing that is, he goes through, thanks so much for reading my email. It's relatively long, but he goes through their whole trip, and basically they had the time of their life. And this goes to something that we've talked about for such a long time. He did the skull session, the hang on Sloopy, the battle cry. This is what I mean by the warm blanket for Buckeye football. You can be gone for a long time the way that Mike was. He's coming back for his 50th birthday with his daughter, and it still produces all of the feels. Mike, thanks for sending us the update on how it all went. I'm glad it went great. He also does add, by the way, a real quick aside, Caleb Downs, the kid is a football machine. Seeing him in person was awesome, and not just as a player during the game. I was struck by how during the television timeouts he was constantly moving, practicing his technique, his backpedaling, breaking on the ball, staying loose. What an example for other players about how to go about your business. Awesome. I think he's the one, and Bake, you had that experience too when you went to the Texas game. He's the one that if you see it in person,
it's different.
Explodes.
It's different. You can tell, just like he has his hands on everything in the defense. And just wherever the ball's going, because you can just watch number 2, because chances are he's heading in the right direction.
Yes. Yeah, he is. Great stuff. Couldn't get to all of them. Bunch of good ones in there. I got a couple I got to get to from Snagglepuss. We'll try to work those in next week. But a lot to get to on that side of things. A lot to get to with our next guest. In 2 minutes, Paul Finebaum of the Paul Finebaum Show joins us. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we helped Tom.
Hi, my name's Tom. I've been a patient at Tri-State Men's Health, and I'm being treated for low testosterone. I didn't really notice the issue of just the energy and feeling slow in the middle of the day and waking up feeling as if I hadn't even gone to bed. When I walked into Tri-State Men's Health, I was extremely impressed from the get-go with the results of the treatment. I wake up in the morning now with clarity. I have had more energy in working out. I definitely have increased my strength. I would say that if there are men out there who experienced some of the same problems that I did with inability to sleep well and waking up without feeling refreshed and having your energy flagging throughout the day, go see Tri-State Men's Health. It's changed my life and it'll change yours too.
Thanks, Tom. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts, no for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we've got a problem at Pella.
I like where this is going.
Because of Pella's reputation and quality, a lot of folks assume that we're out of budget.
Oh, that's too... Oh, I hate hearing.
But we've actually got 5 awesome window lines that fit any budget, from the $300,000 to the $3 million home, and far from the most expensive.
So you actually don't have a problem. Awesome.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
Hi, buddy. It seemed like about 7 weeks ago, you and I did this hit, and we were on the precipice of number one versus, I guess, technically number three, but in the coaches poll, number two, and it was going to be the game everybody wanted to see. As we sit here on October 9th, we're coming on the heels of a Texas team going and losing in Gainesville to a bad Florida group, and it just looking bad. Where does this Texas collapse? Because this feels like that, and it feels like there's a lot more to come. Rank for you on how misled we were on how good a team and a program is.
It's pretty high, and I think Saturday in Dallas is going to define their season. If they can't win that game, we would both agree it's over, and it looks like one of the biggest misstatements of all time. And listen, I'm at the tip of that spear, so I'm really loving every moment of what is happening. But it's not alone, and not to bring Penn State into this conversation. But that's another one that we all believed in, just as well as Clemson with Cade Klubnik. I know it's easy if you're a critic out there to say these people that talk about college football in the offseason have no idea what they're talking about, but it looks like the peanut gallery was right this time, Bo.
You and I were at least hesitant on Penn State. Like I don't want to be lumped in with all the people who bought into Penn State, because I need to see James Franklin win the game that matters before I'm going to give him too much credit. It's the number 2 team in the country, but certainly Texas and Clemson don't make a lot of sense. Those are two teams that you talk about quite a bit. What do you attribute it to?
I think the quarterback play certainly always has a big factor. I think with Arch, we wanted to believe what people down there were saying, and by the way, they were saying it. It wasn't like all of us collectively said, "Okay, this guy is going to be great just because of his last name." Vegas was in on it. Everybody else was in on it. Klubnik at Clemson was a little bit more misleading, because I had people that were at practices telling me how great he was. Penn State, I think, is probably the easiest one to believe, because it's always been difficult to believe that James Franklin was anything but a good coach, not an elite coach. Well, and this gets us back a little bit to that Texas conversation, doesn't it? Because Ryan Day's won his championship, Kirby's won 2. And Sark, we're waiting on Sark and Lanning, right? They felt like they had next. And Dan obviously looks like he could have next. That Oregon team is obviously very, very real. But why has this – because it's not just Arch. I think it's easy to grab the Arch thing, and he's not played great. They can't protect it, Paul. They can't run it. Colin Simmons is on a milk carton for the kids who get that reference. What do you make of the Texas program and the way and where it is right now with Sark? Yeah, and part of the love affair with Sark comes from analysts. And I sit with them every week, and you talk to some of them, and they all think because he's got this NFL swagger, he's the greatest offensive play caller in the game. But he's not. And I've said he was. But listen, at some point you have to quit saying the same thing, or you're just banging your head against the wall. And that's why I think Saturday at Red River is paramount. And what's interesting about this game, and I think everybody listening knows how important OU Texas is. Mm-hmm. Arch Manning, for one of the few times this year, will be the best quarterback in the game. Mateer is out. I don't believe for a second he's going to do anything more than put a uniform on, and that gives Texas a real chance if they can find their way. The interesting thing about Arch last week, and I've had the same football experts who told me he was great tell me this. That he played pretty well, except he just had no offensive line protection. He was running for his life, and he did a couple of good things, but mostly he looked stupid because he didn't have any time. Yeah. One other thing that is I wanted to get your take on, there are 9 SEC teams ranked currently in the AP Top 25. There are 5 Big Ten teams ranked. And I think some of this, my theory on this is this goes back to Roy Kramer a great many years ago and that CBS 3:30 slot, and the fact that week after week, the nation was conditioned that if the teams that are playing at 3:30 on CBS are playing, then they're great.
and we just got used to it. And I see the ratings that come in with your company, with ESPN, and I see how they rate, and I see how they outrate some of the most regional games, like OSU, LSU outrated a big game up here that involved, I want to say it was Michigan and maybe USC. I can't remember how the weeks lined up, but I was like, wow, Michigan and USC are big-time national brands, and they were able to get the win in this regional factor. And I wonder if that's affecting the polls as well. And the reason I would say that is, for some reason, and I'm not convinced that these teams are much different, Washington isn't ranked, USC isn't ranked, Nebraska isn't ranked, and those are all pretty big brands. In the meantime, we got 9 SECs. What do you make of branding and awareness and why there are 9 SEC teams ranked?
I think part of it is at this point in the season. I believe that will get taken care of. But let me go back to your ratings point. Vandy, Alabama is the number one game of the weekend. Now, I never bought into it. It was that big a deal. I thought Alabama would win. How does that outrank Florida State and Miami in prime time? It's hard for me to believe that, but I just think that certain brands are bigger than others. And what are the big brands? Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia to a degree. And I look at Washington as a big brand. But to me, it's just there is a conditioning, and there, while Fox has done really well with that noon, because of the 25 years of CBS at 3:30, it's just an appointment television. Although I still don't understand how that many people watch a Vanderbilt team that to me looks a little bit hyped up but they were playing at Alabama. It doesn't hurt to have game day at Alabama that morning, where they quite frankly should have been at Miami, Florida State.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's one of those things where, and that's one of those ones where maybe game day got that one wrong, but I do give those guys a lot of credit, and most of the time they do get it. Like, they're going to Indiana, Oregon this week. They don't have any dog in that fight at all, and they're going out there. So I give them a lot of credit for the most part going to what is perceived to be the best game every single week. Of the 9 teams that are ranked, Paul, which ones do you think are good?
Well, I will start with Alabama, and this is I'm a late moment conversion on them, but right now I do think they look very good. They're very vulnerable this weekend, by the way, at Missouri. 11 o'clock kick, everything you want to put into that. After that, Ole Miss is on the same level as Alabama. I genuinely like them. I don't think there's another what I would call an elite team. I think Oklahoma very well could go down this weekend. Georgia is hard to fall in love with because they have so many flaws, and they're at Auburn on Saturday night, and that would not be a big surprise to see Auburn win that game, as flawed as they are. So I think Ole Miss and Alabama are on the same shelf right now. But the problem with everyone in the SEC, and this will sound like I'm preaching from the SEC headquarters, is the schedules are just so ridiculous. Alabama, with one loss already, is at Missouri this week, has Tennessee at home, at South Carolina, and then LSU, Oklahoma, and at Auburn. I don't see any way they get through that, where that is going to be the undoing of almost every SEC team.
Yeah. The schedules are absolutely brutal the way that they stack out. Do you think Belichick lasts to the end of the season at Carolina? This has been a crazy week.
No, I don't see how he can, because he's got nothing going for him. And it looked, the statement they put out earlier this week or yesterday was just ridiculous. He did something 2 weeks ago. Now, you tell me if you ever seen it. And I'm not going Jordan Hudson here, but I was told that he basically took off about 4 or 5 days during the bye week and went on vacation. I have never heard of that before. Spurrier used to get in trouble because he played golf on the Friday of the bye week. When there was nothing to do there's really nothing to do on that Friday. You don't have a game the next day. Brian Kelly told me Monday, I said, so what did you do on the bye week? He said, my wife and I went shopping. That's a big deal to spend 3 hours going to Costco. But to take it to, but I just think he's checked out. He's not into it. His statements are just peculiar, and I think he would be wise to get out now. Everybody would just shrug their shoulders and go, was he really there, as opposed to just getting his head beaten in every week.
Yeah, and I think those of us that do this and talk about this sport for a living, we look at it, and it was the arrogance, right? It was like, well, we're going to do something that isn't being done. We're going to operate like an NFL team, and I'm thinking Florida State was doing that in 2001 Ohio State's been doing that for 25 years. I'm sure Alabama's been doing it as long as Saban's been there. You're not doing anything that hasn't already been done. It was the arrogance, Paul, that I think ruffled some feathers for those of us who are around this all the time.
Exactly. And it's so weird for us. I mean, I respect Bill Belichick's record, but it feels weird to be talking about this. But it's the reality. There's no barriers up. He hasn't had a good season in years in the NFL, and you can play the Brady game if you want, but it's pretty accurate. And he's just. It's the danger. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to a lot of people. Anytime you try something new at that age, beware.
Well played, sir. I will get you out of here on this one. If I give you Ohio State, Miami, or Oregon, or the field, which do you take? So you get Ohio State, Miami, Oregon, or the field?
Yeah, I would take Miami or Oregon and Ohio State. I'm not crazy about the field. 3 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I would have taken it, but right now I think Ohio State is in a tremendous position.
They are. Looks good. Great talking to you again, buddy. We'll do it again soon. Thanks for your time.
Always. See you soon.
All right, there he goes. Paul Finebaum joining on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll do a thing or not a thing. This is a hell of a thing that happened up in Cleveland in regard to the Guardians. Bit of an attention getter. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, I invented a way to make sure people's furnaces are safe.
Do you test high temperature, flame rollout, flame limit, and flame proving?
Yeah. No one wants to set their house on fire.
Do you inspect the heat exchanger?
Yeah. No one wants a house full of carbon monoxide.
We already do all that for just $89.
Yeah, but my price is just $88.
Okay, so $88 will be the new price for a furnace safety check.
Get Eco.
ECO. I also invented a cool new name for it.
Okay.
I call it the Super Safety Check.
What makes it super?
Well, it costs $1 less, and it has super in the name.
Should I start calling you Super Jerry?
The Super Jerry Super Safety Check. I like it.
Get Eco to safety check your furnace.
Or, for $1 less, you can get the Super Jerry Super Safety Check.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I was told you could make us feel better. You're suffering from too much junkitis. Point at something you haven't used lately.
Wow, it's gone. Try it, honey. You'll feel light as a feather.
Something I haven't used?
All you have to do is point.
I feel like I'm flying.
That's the sound of optimism and energy and possibilities.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Your new Columbus home for the Jim Rome Show is the Fan 2.
Catch the live experience weekdays from 3 to 6.
Just one requirement. Have a take and don't suck. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Jim Rome Show.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Great Snagglepuss with a great idea of James Franklin in North Carolina. That'd be kind of, and he's great at that. He's a great program builder, stabilizer. That might be a win for everybody if he went down there and then Penn State could go in a different direction. Time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I guess I can only assume this is a disgruntled Cleveland Guardians fan who took out a full-page ad in Wednesday's edition of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and it was all text on top of a picture of Progressive Field. The text reads, Cleveland is witnessing history. Jose Ramirez will be remembered as the city's greatest of all time. Paul Dolan is wasting his career. No vision, no investment. Jose deserves better. The fans deserve better. Cleveland deserves better. Either commit to winning or sell the team, Paul. 76 years is long enough. And I'll add, it's worth noting David Blitzer owns a minority percentage in the team right now and has an option to purchase the majority in 2028. Thing or not a thing?
So it's an interesting. I saw this from McNeil, the great McNeil, and on Twitter. And when I saw it, I thought, well, McNeil put it out. Everybody will see it. And then a buddy of mine texted me and he goes, you know who still probably gets the physical copy of the Plain Dealer and reads it every day that it's delivered? Paul Dolan.
The Dolans.
Yeah, I'm sure that he does. So I heard Andre Knott yesterday up on ESPN Cleveland talking about how he thought that this could come sooner rather than later in terms of the full ownership of the team. It's tough because they don't invest. They don't have to invest. Major League Baseball, I think, deserves a lot of credit for really leveling the playing field, with the exception to the Dodgers, who can do whatever they want. And obviously, the Mets are trying to do it too, but the Mets haven't won anything since '86. So it's worked for the Dodgers. They've leveled the playing field. If you look at the teams in the playoff, there's a lot of teams who have not won a World Series or haven't won one in a long time. So they are achieving some level of parity. And I do think that Cleveland is in a spot right now with that roster. And this is more for you than me, Reese, because you're more dialed in than this. But it does feel like if they invested now, there's a lot of pieces that could be accentuated, and you could have a hell of a run.
So I don't think this specifically is a thing, right? I don't think this is going to change anything with the Cleveland Guardians and how they go about their business. I do think this goes back to your point, Bo, that we've talked about some on this show is what do you deserve as a fan base?
Yeah.
And what would you rather have as a Guardians fan? Would you rather have the last 30 years of baseball, or would you give that all up for one championship in that run? And it's such a great question. The one thing I know is the Guardians are always in it. What is it? 25 games in the past decade or whatever that stat was where they've played a game where they were out of contention, eliminated from playoff contention. It was a ridiculous number. Maybe it was like the last 20 years or something. It's pretty insane. I know it's frustrating coming up short as a team, but the Guardians have had as many cracks as anyone at it.
They've got a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but the argument is they've had the cracks with what they've done. Imagine if they did just a little bit more relative to having one of the lowest payrolls in sport. What if they just had a middle payroll, like a payroll that was in the teens? What could they do with the talent then? I do believe it could be taking swings at actual World Series titles instead of one in every 40 years. But it's a very tight rope to walk. And I am enthused to hear that David Blitzer majority option could be sooner rather than later. It does feel like we're nearing the end of Giannis Antetokounmpo's time in Milwaukee. There was a Greek sports outlet that reported Giannis had moved his family out of Milwaukee. Giannis then responded on Instagram with "Stop lying." But then on Wednesday, he commented on the Shams Charania reporting that said in the offseason, there was a conversation between Giannis and the front office in Milwaukee that if they were going to make a trade, it would be to New York. Giannis said yesterday, quote, "I've communicated with my teammates, communicated with the people I respect and love, that the moment I step on this court or in this facility, I wear this jersey, the rest does not matter. I'm locked into whatever I have in front of me. Now, if in 6-7 months I change my mind, I think that's human too," end quote. Thing or not a thing?
Well, let's take this from the fan. Like, would him going to the Knicks guarantee them a championship? No, I don't think so. So I think it's just more of a lifestyle thing for him. Does he want to do it? Does he just want to change? Does he want to be in a different market? Does he want to just experience playing in another place? I mean, my guess is it's probably fun playing at Madison Square Garden 41 nights a year. My guess is that's a good time. But it's probably a good time doing it in Milwaukee, too. So from the fan experience in Milwaukee, is now the time, like if you're a Bucks fan, do you want to trade him and net things in return that can do a rebuild? Or is it more like Kobe with the Lakers, where you just don't ever want to see him in another uniform? That's a personal preference for fans. I don't know where I'd come down on that. I mean, I grew up a Laker fan, and I watched the end with Kobe as a player, and he played on irrelevant basketball teams at the end of his career. Completely irrelevant. Now, he got to shoot it 60 times like he did in his final game ever, but they were irrelevant basketball teams. And could they have done something different had they moved him? Maybe, but then what's the value of that? Is 3 years of trying to rebuild quicker worth what it was like to have that guy only wear that uniform? So that's what makes this stuff so tricky is what would a fan want in this circumstance?
I think this is a thing from the standpoint that something's happening here. Something's going to happen with him. He is not going to be playing basketball. This season, maybe he plays basketball for Milwaukee, but this sure seems like his last playing for Milwaukee because there's way too much smoke around him and possibly wanting to be moved or wanting to go to the Knicks or just wanting out of Milwaukee. There's way too much smoke in all of this that for there not to be a little fire here sometime. So he may play this season with the Milwaukee Bucks, but I don't think he's playing another one.
Earlier this week, it was discovered Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones deactivated all of his social media amid criticism for his effort on the Jaguars' game-winning touchdown against the Chiefs on Monday night. The video shows that he didn't try at all as Trevor Lawrence fell, got up, fell down again, and then stumbled in. I think he ran 22 total yards for that 1-yard go-ahead touchdown score. The three-time All-Pro selection in Jones has just one sack through 5 games this year. Thing or not a thing?
I saw another crazy stat that I don't know if this is right or not. It was on social media, so 60% of the time it works every time. He said that the tweet was that he had 4 tackles, and Jamar Chase has 5. I don't know if that's true or not, but obviously he's not having much of an impact on that Chiefs operation. And I think sometimes it's hard to hear the same voice over and over again. There's no excuse for the effort that was given, but it's a 3-time All-Pro who's been an instrumental part in all of your Super Bowl success. So it's just a tough one to deal with. I don't think it's a thing yet. Let's see what the Chiefs look like in a month, and then maybe we can decide if it's a thing. I think right now, a lot of these guys in the NFL are kind of just pacing themselves. I think Philly's doing that. They're kind of just pacing themselves. It's a 17-game season. It's 18 weeks and then a full playoff. You play till the middle of February. I think a lot of people are just kind of wading into the season a little bit.
I think you were right on that, especially with the Chiefs, Bo. It sure seems like they have it down where, well, we'll just turn it on when we need to at the end, and we're going to be okay. And that may be the case with them, but crazy things happen in the NFL. Like, I'm sure they'll turn it on this week against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But you could turn it on against Detroit and still lose, and then you're 2-4. And at the end of the year, that Jacksonville Jaguars game could come back to haunt you. I think the other thing that's a thing here is you just signed a 5-year, $158.75 million contract. Like,
yeah.
If you're getting paid that much money, I need you to at least pretend like you want to be out there. At least pretend like you're interested. You just can't be the kid on the soccer field picking dandelions, not realizing a game is going on behind you. Like, if we're going to give you that deal, you've got to give me some effort.
I agree, and I think you know when that I would imagine it's really embarrassing even for somebody hit that accomplished that when you're watching film, and like if they watch film as a team, like the whole team, not offense defense, like and you're sitting there with Mahomes and he's over there and you're giving that effort. I think that's tough. So. Yeah, and, I mean, not a huge thing now, but I think we'll see.
And put it in perspective if it's your team. Like, if I saw Myles Garrett doing that, I'd be going ballistic.
Yep. All right, final hour of the program coming up next. A little bit of Shelly time as the Jackets drop the puck. But first, we attempt to beat the house. It did not go well last week. We need a bounce-back week. We'll attempt to do so. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Nothing beats a cold one on game day. Lately, I've been grabbing Go Brewing. It's a non-alcoholic craft beer that actually tastes like beer, and you can snag it right now at Kroger in Columbus. Check it out next time you're in the beer aisle. Go Brewing at Kroger, and visit gobrewing.com/thefan for a special BOGO offer.
Treat yourself to a new ride from Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% on a new 25 Kia EV6 or 26 EV9, or get up to $11,000 off MSRP. Get 1.9% on a new 25 Telluride during the Kia Fall Sales Event. Visit CoglinKia.com.
Based on 2024 retail sales, 0% for 60 months and 1.9% for 48 months equals $1,667 and $2,165 for 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Not all will qualify. Manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Ends 10/31/25.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
At Giant Eagle, we're focused on quality, freshness, and all your favorites. Because meals bring us together. Because recipes keep traditions alive. Because the right ingredients make it or break it. Because being part of the neighborhood matters. Because what we pick up at the store is what we bring into our lives. At Giant Eagle, we're always going for better to bring you the best. Because it matters.
You've heard about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yeah, that's an old one. My dad told that one to me. But when it's your real feet, it's not a game. It's awful. Hey, it's Anthony. I had pain in my feet and my lower back, so I went to the Good Feet store and got the support I needed in my shoes that changed the game for me. I went in and they personally fit me for arch supports that would be perfect for my feet. The fitting process is simple. They ask the right questions about exactly what I was experiencing and the lifestyle I want to be able to live. They professionally measured my feet and arch size, and before I knew it, I was wearing my new arch supports home. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put into all of my shoes. Get professionally fitted at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Dormar, your climate hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The fifth line has had to wait 2 days for the Blue Jackets to begin the regular season. Columbus is in Nashville tonight in Game 1 of 82. Thursday's face-off against the Predators is 8 p.m. Hear that game on the Fan with coverage at 7:30. This morning, Jackets head coach Dean Evison told T-Bone and Tyvis Jet Greaves will get the nod in net. Evison also says right winger Igor Chinnikov will be a healthy scratch against the Preds. Jackets will skate in Minnesota on Saturday, then host the Devils this coming Monday night at Nationwide. Week 6 in the NFL begins tonight near New York. The Giants host the Eagles at 8:15. In college football, number 1 Ohio State's at number 17 Illinois Saturday at noon. Buckeyes are 2-touchdown favorites. Hear from OSU's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day Radio Show. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Thursday edition of the program. Let's attempt to beat the house.
Beat the house.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Visit their Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville locations to experience the best in craft dining and distilling. Learn more at highbankco.com.
It was a tough week for the fellas last week as both of you guys went 6-8. So, Reese, you are 34-44 through 5 weeks of the season. Bo, you are an inverted record of Reese. You are 44-34. Last week, we had our first buys of the year. This week, just 2 teams on a buy as we head to week 6. That would be the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans. It all kicks off tonight, a little Thursday night football. The Philadelphia Eagles heading to New York to take on the Giants in a big NFC East matchup. The Giants home dogs getting 7.5.
All right, I'm going to start this by saying I hate when I do this, but I couldn't help myself because I was just curious because some of these look kind of crazy. This is the most lopsided week of NFL betting I've ever seen in terms of who the public is picking to win. So I like to fade the public. And then beyond that, the money bet. Like there are several games this week that are 99% of the money on a team. I mean, you just don't see that. I mean,
it's not often.
And there's like 8 of them that are that way, that are above 90% for one team. This is one of them. So Philly's been struggling a little bit. New York coming off of being embarrassed by New Orleans last week. Philly's going to win the game. But watch out for the Giants at the back door, making this look a little closer than it actually is. I'll take Giants, and I'll throw the 7.5.
Samesies, give me the G-men here.
All right, guys, we got another London game over at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets. The Broncos are the favorites in this one by 6.5.
Yeah, I don't love this one. I think if you're betting on it, the hotline can be provided for you. I picked Denver minus the 6.5 because I don't know any better.
Yeah, the Jets team's interesting because they were pretty hapless last week. They haven't gotten a win yet. Aaron Glenn's really getting into him. I'm with you. I'm going to go with Sean Payton and the Broncos winning by 7. Give me the Broncos. That stat with Justin Fields is one of the most damaging stats in the NFL. He's now 0-26 when the opposing team scores more than 21.
Oof. Head to 1 p.m. The Cleveland Browns on the road at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, the home favorites, by 5.5.
Pittsburgh's not great. I think they're the only team in the NFL who's been outgained in every game they've played, which is pretty wild. They're in the bottom 3 or 4 in total offense and in total defense, but they win the turnover margin, and then therefore they win. I think that it'd be hard to imagine Cleveland going over there and winning because they haven't for a very, very long time. But this game, to me, just screams 20-17, so I'll take the Browns and the points.
Yeah, Steelers win, Browns cover.
Marv and the Arizona Cardinals coming to Indianapolis to face the Colts. The Colts 7.5-point favorites at home.
I do think the Colts win this game, but I think because Arizona was embarrassed last week, they make it a little bit closer than the 7.5 would give. Give me the Cardinals and the points.
It's diabolical stuff that Vegas is doing with all these 7.5s. Like, this is a new phenomenon, and they're living in this world a lot. There's a lot of 7.5 world out there. I think that I think the Indianapolis Colts are a little bit like the Indiana Hoosiers in that they're not getting the respect that they deserve. They lead the National Football League in point differential. Give me the Colts. Big.
That makes me happy. The first game you guys are opposing each other. The Los Angeles Chargers making the long trip to Miami to face the Dolphins. Even with that trip, they're still favored by 3.5.
They got big problems in L.A. They can't protect. He's getting hit a lot. Can't run it. Tons of injuries. Cross-country flight. I just think I wish it wasn't. I wish I didn't have to deal with a hook on this. I really wish this was 3. I'll take the Chargers and I'll throw it. I don't love it, though.
No Chargers, no. I think they win, but give me Miami plus the 3.5.
The New England Patriots, also 3.5-point favorites on the road. They're heading down to New Orleans.
In this one, give me the road team minus the 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think New Orleans has fought. Like, every week they battle. They're bad, but they battle. And they beat the Giants last week. That kind of gets the monkey off the back. Maybe a little bit of a revert back to the mean. Meantime, I think New England's just good. I think they're good. That's a big-time win going to Buffalo. I'll take the Patriots.
Another 3.5. The Dallas Cowboys heading to Carolina, and another road favorite.
So Carolina, I've nailed them the last few weeks because they're yo-yo. One up, one down. One up, one down. So last week they won. This week they come back down to earth. Dak Prescott, if he just got just a little bit of defense, should be deservedly in the MVP conversation. He's been extraordinary. They've got a ton of injuries, but I like the Cowboys going to Carolina and getting a win.
All right, so you have Dallas minus the 3.5. I wrote down
That's
wait
right.
for Bo, so I'm just going to go with your pick there.
The Cowboys are what we thought the Bengals would be, right?
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks, this is maybe even a longer flight than the Chargers have. They're heading to Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored at home by 1.5.
Duval does not win Sunday.
Duval.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are a better team, and I think there's a little bit of a hangover for Jacksonville. It's not by a lot, but give me Seattle plus the 1.5.
I think both these teams are actually good. I don't know that I don't think they're Super Bowl good, but I think they're both good. I think this is going to be a really fun game. I think Jacksonville, the fact that I'm only given 1.5 and you're doing the second longest flight you can do in the National Football League, I'll take them. I think Jacksonville wins by a field goal. Give me the Jaguars.
Another west to east flight here. The Los Angeles Rams, 7.5-point favorites at the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore is battered, bloodied, wounded, limping to the bye week. Limping. I think that my guess is they got guys who are already on vacation going to the bye week to try to rehabilitate and get ready for the fall. I don't know what the number would be for me to not pick the Rams in this, but it sure as heck is a lot more than 7.5. Give me the Ramets.
I'm going to go Baltimore here. I like LA to win, but I do think that there's probably a lot more let's just go to the bye week than let's have some pride in ourselves. So I think Baltimore fights for a little bit. The 7.5 is too much for me, so yeah, give me the Ravens.
Only one game at 4:05 this week. That's the Tennessee Titans heading to Vegas to face the Raiders, who are the favorites at home, 3.5 points.
1-800-GAMBLER if you actually put money on this game. Give me Vegas.
Who's watching this?
Sickos.
Who would watch this thing? I mean, this is a disaster.
Chip Kelly's mom.
Kenny Albert's mom. Probably likes to watch her son call the games.
At least Tennessee's competitive. Vegas has not been. It feels like they're quitting on Pete. I'll go Tennessee to cover the 3.5.
4:25, the Fighting Joe Flacco's, the Cincinnati Bengals, take on the Green Bay Packers up in Green Bay. Big number here, 14.5. Green Bay is giving.
Joe Flacco's going to start, and I can see him knocking at the back door to Jamar Chase. Let him in. Let him in. I got Green Bay winning this one. I think Cincinnati will score some points, though. Green Bay wins at 35-21, which works for me. So I'll take Cincinnati in the points.
I was going to say the Packers will win by 10. They're not beating anybody by 2 touchdowns right now, especially not a Joe Flacco team that's going to throw it all over the place. Like, he'll throw for 50 times. Like, he could have. I think it was 46 pass attempts in week 1. Joe Flacco did against the Bengals. I think for the Bengals, he might have 50.
Was the NFL trying to bundle flights this week? The 49ers head to Florida, Tampa to be specifically, to take on the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are the favorites at home, 2.5 points.
Give me Tampa.
I always feel like Stevie Janowski.
Only get a field goal.
Anytime I hear Tampa. Tampa! Mons, Tampa! I hate this. I love this game. I hate picking this one. Give me Bacon the Bucks by a field goal, though.
The Steve Young Bowl there in Tampa Bay. 8:20.
Steve DeBerg, too.
Oh, Steve, that's a good name there. 8:20 Sunday night, the Detroit Lions at the Kansas City Chiefs. What a game here. 2.5 points, though. Kansas City is the favorite at home.
Mahomes at home is a favorite. I just think Detroit's better. Give me Detroit to go in there and win.
Yeah, I'm really not going to overthink this. I think the Lions are a better team right now.
We've got another Monday night doubleheader. 7:15, the Buffalo Bills head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Falcons are the home dog, 4.5 points.
Can we pick those on Monday?
Yeah,
I don't want to pick them now.
Sorry, we're picking those Monday.
Yeah.
By the way, Bake, as the man who administered that, how diabolical are some of those?
It's brutal.
That's craziness. All those 7.5s, all the 3.5s.
Everything has a hook on it. It's crazy.
Everything's got a hook, and it's all.
The other game Monday night at 8:15, real quick, the Commanders giving 4.5 to the Chicago Bears in Chicago.
There's only 3 in the Vegas zone. Cleveland at Pittsburgh, Buffalo at Atlanta Monday night, and Washington, Chicago Monday night. Everything else isn't. It's wild, really wild. That's a tricky week in the National Football League, to say the least. The Columbus Blue Jackets tonight drop the puck. What standard are we holding them to? We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Hi, this is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we're offering an amazing $12,000 off MSRP on a new Ford Bronco Badlands. This offer is only from Krieger Ford, so come see us on Morris Road or visit KriegerFord.com today. Home of the Krieger Commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Switch to Huntington Bank, and your money is always doing something.
Like what?
Like automatically pushing more to savings so you can take that trip.
I like trips.
Who doesn't? It even tracks your progress. You're almost there.
Well, I better pack.
And it charts your spending so you know which vacation hat you can afford.
How does it know I like hats?
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
You know what my favorite place in the world to watch a game is? It's the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. This is Scotty Vegas, and Dave Biddle and I get to visit our favorite game-watching spot twice in 1 week. Sunday, October 12th, watch the Browns Steelers. Then Thursday, October 16th, we're back for the Steelers Bengals. I have Browns tickets, Pro Football Hall of Fame passes, and dining credits to give out during the games at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
All month long at Twin Peaks, celebrate National Dessert Month with sweet endings like our Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cheesecake topped with rum chata sauce, or the Twin Peaks Sundae with a warm Ghirardelli brownie. Pair it with a Screwball peanut butter whiskey for the ultimate game day finish. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Take action with Logan Services now and do not miss out on tax credits up to $3,200 ending soon. Receive additional savings up to $3,000 and get next day installation. Logan Services.
The Fan has a new tailgate destination. Join us before every home game at the O Patio and Pub on Lane.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Jameson Whiskey didn't go to college. And Coors Light.
See you Saturday, friends.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
As we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, we recognize the enormous contributions of Hispanic and Latino Americans in our country. And we recognize the importance of ensuring all students are respected and reflected in their curriculum. Let's make sure our students can be proud of who they are so they can dream big for the future.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Really feeling like fall today? You probably want to bring a light jacket if you get cold easily. We'll see temperatures in the mid-60s with lots of sunshine. For tonight, temperatures plunge overnight with clear skies and lows in the 30s, so we might see some patchy areas of frost. And then for Friday, we get a little bit warmer with plenty of sun and highs in the low 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
And the Capital Florida Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to Pick North. It is tomorrow night. They host Grove City. Coverage starts at 6:30. The kick's at 7. After the game, it's Byers Subaru double at overtime with Bacon Lee. Friday nights are for high school football on the Fan. I just overheard NBC with this line. Have you seen the Tavon Austin tape on YouTube? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've seen it.
That's a good one.
I go, buddy, when you're done with that, type in Noel Devine.
Deep Rich Rod cuts.
And go look at those two dudes go. That was the first thing. That was one of the first things I remember about YouTube was like when those type of clips, like you'd like message people. Have you seen this? That was when YouTube first started to go. Now it's everybody's got tape, and you got to go through a bunch of it. But the Tavon Austin YouTube stream is unbelievable, and the Noel Devine one, it's crazy. They both ended up at West Virginia because it's just both of their tape was nuts. The Noel Devine high school tape is ridiculous. It doesn't even really make sense. Well, here we go. We're dropping a puck. Dean Evison was on with T-Bone and Tyvis Fan Thursday this morning. They asked him about the excitement for the new season. Here's your head coach.
I don't know if it's nervous, but it's that butterfly, right? It's that excitement. It's that there's something there. It's just you're jacked up, and sure. I mean, I think. Well, I know that being behind the bench is the closest thing to being a player, and as you know, it's absolutely wonderful that we played and had a career and all that kind of stuff. But and being on the bench is the closest thing. Obviously, we get on the ice still in practice. You still feel the highs and the lows, and I really enjoy that feeling. You don't enjoy the lows as because they sit with you a little bit more as a coach, because as a player you kind of let them go and you can get back after it. The next night on the ice, it stays with you a little bit, but yeah, I enjoy the butterflies and the excitement that you feel, which we will have here tonight.
Success for this team will in large part be dependent on what happens in net. Dean was on with T-Bone and Tyvis this morning and named Jet the starter. Here he is on the goaltending situation.
We've always been, and we in every one of our positions, we're goaltending, forward, center, wing, defense, have been, just earned basis. And it's no different with our goaltending. Now we play. To start the season here, we've got 3 games in 5 nights. So it's a difficult task to ask a guy to go all of those in the net. It's a different position. So, yeah, we're probably going to split them. But, Greaves will get the start tonight. And then we've told Elvis straight up that, the plan is to play him in Minnesota, but it's not in stone. It's the same thing we tell everybody. Maybe we've got a plan, but it could change. That's what we do. We'll communicate with the player and the players to their face so that they know, and then we go from there.
We had Don Waddell on Tuesday, and I asked him about the Igor Chenikov situation, and he gave his answer to it. And then we got what I think was a little bit of a surprise this morning. Bake will comment on this momentarily. This was Dean Evison on the Chenikov situation.
Chinny wants to play, and I met with him probably a week ago after our second to last preseason game. He was just wondering where everything was at. We were just straight up, and again, it's the communication part. I don't expect him to be on the same page as us. He wants to play. He's not happy that he's not playing. He is not going to play tonight. And the problem is, and it's a great problem to have, is that we have 13 forwards that can play in the National Hockey League, that have played in the National Hockey League. There's not one guy that's playing his first game. So it's simply a numbers situation. We just feel that the 12 that we're putting in tonight at this point are ahead of him in that just today. That's it. And there's nothing that he didn't do. He worked. He did all the came in great shape, did everything. But we have 13 guys. One guy has to sit. And if it's Chinny or if it's somebody else, they're going to be disappointed. And we want them to be. And we want them to have that fire. And when they're same as I just talked about the goaltending, we want them to be good teammates. and support here tonight. Work hard, and when you get your opportunity, you're ready to play.
I think it's going to be really critical that this and the goaltending thing. Now, Dean and Don have been around a long time. They know what they're doing. But I think it's really critical that both of those things aren't things that become distraction. And I think it's kind of the last thing you need with a team that, to me, from my vantage point, feels like a team that's very similar to the stated goals we had for them last year. Last year was pretty simple, though, with everything that happened, the incredible tragedy before the season. We said, be relevant for the outdoor game. Well, they were. They were relevant. They missed the playoffs by 2 points. But this year, to me, it feels go chase the 8. Like, go make the postseason. That's what it seems like to me. But you have these two things that are now in the mix. Bake, you follow this closer than anybody. What do you make of how they handled the goaltending situation, naming Jet the starter tonight? And what do you feel about the Chinnikov situation?
I feel the way that Jet ended the year last year, that it was his net going into this year on opening night, unless he just played that much worse. If Elvis was that much better than him in preseason. And I think you can make the argument that Elvis, of their 3 goaltenders, because they traded for Ivan Fedotov a couple weeks ago and brought him in before training camp to be the third goalie. He's going to be the starter down in Cleveland. I think you could argue that Elvis played the worst in the preseason of all of them. Now, I think they all played pretty well, but the Jet thing tonight does not surprise me. Mm-hmm. And I think if Jet can play, and listen, those last 6 games he had last year, he was out of his mind.
Yeah, he was.
But if he can play anywhere close to that and try to give them stability in the net, I think this is Jets net for 70 or 50, 55 games this year. The Chinnikov situation, I don't understand at all. I don't get it. I don't understand why he's not in the lineup tonight. Injuries have really kind of derailed his career, I believe. This dude's got the hardest shot on the team. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. Like, he has all the measurables, and he produces at usually about a half a point per game when he's played. He's got 71 points in 175 games, so a little under that. But when he's been a regular, for the most part, that's what he's been. I do not get why he's not in the lineup tonight. I think it wasn't great in the preseason, but it also wasn't terrible. Mm-hmm. They were putting him on top lines sometimes. Like, I understand, I don't think you want Chinnikov on the 4th line, but I think on this team, he's definitely a top 9 guy. I don't understand this, and I think this could linger and be a problem.
Yeah. All right. So, how are we going to judge him? What's our standard here?
Playoff.
Am I too easy saying chase the 8? Is that too easy? Should we expect more?
No, I think that's fine. I think anything, if you want to go a little bit more, great. They're not winning the Metropolitan. Certainly, I don't think anybody has that in the design. Like, that'd be great if they were competitive in the division in January and February. But for me, and what I think is reasonable, is staying in playoff contention until game 82, and then making it a longer season by getting into the postseason. And I will add no caveat to injuries or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think you have to make the playoffs this year. But to me, I want to see, what I want out of this season is I want Adam Fantilli to take the next step. I want him to become the bona fide number 1 center superstar on this team. I want Kent Johnson to take another step. And I want Denton Matejchuk to continue on his rookie season last year. And I want it to be a little better defensively this year. You've got to keep the pucks out of your net better than you have the past handful of years.
Yeah, the crazy thing, so it's interesting, if I meld those two expectations, like if you were to ask me if at the end of this year Fantilli is a superstar, but we miss the postseason, I'll take it. Because my view with this has always been a much longer view. I'm very encouraged with what Porty said yesterday, folks. If you were listening, and we put it out on all the podcasts and all of those things, when he said that this team could be ultra aggressive at the deadline, and not for a piece, but for a dude, that made me very happy about how they're viewed and how ownership views it and how the build is being built. That made me very happy.
They have the second most cap space in the league heading into opening night.
Yeah.
And, Bo, I will say this. If Fantilli does that, if Fantilli becomes a top-line superstar, this team is in the playoffs.
I would think so.
I don't think there's any way that happens, and they're not in the playoffs.
It's just crazy because, as we found out in free agency, there are so many teams that are in a similar situation they do, with good, young, talented core, a lot of money to spend, and there wasn't anywhere to spend it. So it's just so competitive. And everybody that I respect in the NHL, just looking at where they have the jackets slotted, all of them have them out. Like, nobody has them in. So that's just nationally, and I guess internationally with Canada, the way they're being viewed. Who gives a damn about them? I give a great deal of damn about Jody, Shelley. And Shelly Time, episode 1, comes up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice here. How far are you willing to drive for a great deal on a new vehicle? Well, I made the short drive north to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion and got my new car. And right now, you can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 with up to $12,000 off MSRP for qualified buyers. They believe in a no-hassle sales experience so you can get the truck you want at a price you'll love without the stress. They're just off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 for Kids.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Soldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The gloves. Shelly Time.
Sponsored by Midwest Cards. Experience collecting in a whole new way.
Dude, how's it this time already? We're dropping the puck, pal. How you been? Did you have a good summer?
Go?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a great summer. But here we are in Nashville watching them run their power play, and it's Shelly time.
It's time for a little Shelly time, brother. What was your favorite thing you did this summer? One favorite thing.
I went to Western Canada with my kids and hung out with my parents, my sister, my other sister, my brother, their kids for my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary in the Canadian Rockies. It was beautiful.
Where were you? Lake Louise, Banff, or you were further north?
No, we were in a little town 3 hours west of Calgary called Invermere.
Oh, I don't have a point of reference on that.
It's you head west and then you head south once you hit the Rockies, and beautiful lake in the center of town at the foothills of the mountains, and you drive through the mountains to get there, like, you know,
oh baby,
through like tunnels and stuff, and you pop out on the other side, and it's you're in the hot springs country, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
great.
Excellent. I recommend it.
Well, it's not far from where I grew up, so if you're 3 hours and south, you're not too far at all. All right, here we go again, and I can't believe it's here, but we are. You've watched all the way through camp. What I'm curious, last year, of course, had the incredible tragedy. This year, of course, there is none, thankfully. What did you notice about the way that this team showed up to camp and the way that they handled its business in preseason?
Well, this is a team that just missed the playoffs. And I got the sense right away that was lingering. Mm-hmm. That's unfinished business, and they all showed up. This is a tight-knit group that they pretty much kept together. I saw the appreciation of being together, but the business-like attitude right away of how they want to get to tonight and get things started and correct that missed opportunity. Everyone's a year older. Everyone understands what the coach expects of them. The players are, they understand how they have to play. And I like the attitude. There's a quiet confidence in this group, and I think it's just part of maturity. I love it.
Jody, are there a couple of guys? I mean, this team is still so young. Last year to go all the way to the end to just come up 2 points short. But we wonder, how much more to their game is there to that end? Are there young players who you can sense put in some really good work this summer, and maybe there's another step or perhaps even another leap in their game that they could take this year?
I think the most important thing for teams to win is understanding the importance of playing the team game. Mm-hmm. Everyone works in the summer on their skill and their shot, but how much time do you really get to take that wrist shot from that one spot that you've practiced? So the little details of winning a puck battle at the blue line, the importance of that. That's what I think championship teams learn. And I think with guys like Werenski, who've been here forever, Boone Jenner has been here forever, Goodbranson here now has been here. This is his fourth year of that contract. The young guys understand that it's not about beating a guy one-on-one. This is a National Hockey League. It's about being a unit. And I think teams that get to that early and can kind of be that well-oiled machine, I think that's the advantage of keeping a group together. You know what I mean? You see your mistakes. And I think that's the most important thing. Everyone's stronger. To me, Cole Sillinger looks quicker, stronger. He accepts the role as the second-line winger. He's not a centerman now. He's a winger. He's accepted that. He's worked on that. I think that's the importance, is go home and work at a position that maybe you don't see yourself as, but we need you to be in, and then come in and do it as best as you can. And that's the attitude that I think everybody needs to have, and I think I see it here. And it's guys like Marchenko. Remember Marchenko was playing on the outside, then he learned how to battle to get to the inside? Yeah. He's got to learn. He's got to get back to that game. Hopefully he gets back to that right away here tonight, to being that kind of when you don't have the puck, battle to be in the position on the inside to get the puck, because everything is on the inside and everybody protects that net. So the league, you have to remember what the league is. And I think that's the hardest part about going through preseason and getting into game one, is remembering how hard everything is.
It just ratchets up in a big way. What for we open tonight, what do you expect to see in the lines? What do you expect to see in the pairings?
Well, that top line is going to stay together. Monahan, this guy, a couple questions ago, what do I see in some of the players? Yeah. He's a different person. He's a completely different person. He's smiling. He's happy. He's joyful. He's talking. It's last year, we can't even imagine what he went through, but I think that's a huge spark and lift for this team. He's the number one center with Voronkov and Marchenko. The second line, Jenner is Mr. Reliable. He can play anywhere, but he's going to be on the left wing with Fantilli. And then Sillinger through camp has moved up to take that spot on the right side where Kent Johnson was. So good for Sillinger on there. Kent Johnson moves to the third line with Coyle and Olivier. They want that to be an identity line, kind of that starting line to go out and crash and bang. And then with KJ there, we'll see. Maybe that brings a little skill. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Lundestrom in the middle on the fourth line, and he's with Miles Wood. Look out, this guy got was the fastest skater in the NHL last year. He got to the top speed of almost 25 miles an hour. He just wants to get on the forecheck. It's him and Zach Aston-Reese. And then the familiar pairs of Werenski, Fabro, they're going to be together. Provorov is going to be with Severson to start. Severson, right-handed shot, big contract. Provorov just signed long-term, left-handed shot. That'll be interesting, and that moves Matejchuk down with Goodbranson. Okay. That's how it's going to start, but things could change in one breath. And then for goaltending, we still don't know.
Well, we do.
Haven't skated yet.
Dean was on with T-Bone and Tyvus this morning and said it's going to be Jet tonight.
Good. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
T-Bone and Tyvus got the scoop. See,
They
it's
did.
an hour later here in Nashville, and we are in Nashville, so we're just kind of knocking the cobwebs off here. But
yeah, what do you make of that?
Jet's the guy. Jet earned it last year at the end of the year. It puts a little bit of different, probably feel into Elvis Merzlikins and how he approaches this season. And I think competition is probably the greatest thing you have within a team. So good on Jet. I think the guys see that, and I think he forced their hand because everyone's watching. It's like you can't just put someone in a spot when someone else has kind of challenged them like Jet has, and I think that's a good call, the right call.
A little bit of Shelly time with the great Jody. Shelley, Jackets and Nashville tonight. As a player, how do you avoid the Chinnikov situation being a distraction, and how closely will you watch it?
You don't really pay attention to it.
Okay.
If losses stack up and you kind of see where you could fit in, maybe, but he's not a bottom six player. He's a top six player, and for him, with Dean Evison, it's either come to camp and change your game and battle and grind to work your way up to the top, or kind of say, no, this is who I am. You don't see it, and I'm just going to play my game, and if I can fit in, I'll try to do what I can. And right now, after making trade requests, he's taken option B. Yeah. And I like it. He's confident. For him, I like it. He's confident in his ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a distraction. I think once you're in the locker room, the lineup's in, you don't think about those things. You just go to work. And, something will happen here at some point, but not a distraction at all.
Okay. 25 years. 2 days ago.
Can you believe it?
No, I can't. I guess we're all old, bud.
No, we're just hitting our stride. Come on.
It's been a hell of a run, though, and all that's really missing is sustained success on the ice, but it's just remarkable, the relationship, and you've been in the middle of it, that this city and this fan base has with this operation.
I was thinking last night, I was hung out with Luke Richardson, who's an assistant coach here, former captain of the Blue Jackets, and I played here for 8 years, and I think I've met almost every player that's been through this organization at some point now that I'm also running the alumni. Incredible people. Of course, there's been a lot of disappointment and frustration and expectations not met. But you feel like all the 320 maybe guys over the last 25 years that have put on the Blue Jackets jersey have a little thread in what they are now. And we all understand what Columbus is, and we all understand what we were part of when we were here, and we were all proud to be Blue Jackets. And it's one of those, you hit 25 years and you think back of all the great memories, and you look at the players now and you admire how they've taken that step. So awesome, man. We're going to remember a lot of big moments this season with the Blue Jackets organization and on our broadcast with FanDuel Sports Network. And it's hopefully this is a year that a lot of fans will remember because of the successes of this season.
Get you out of here on this one, buddy. We do this every year when we play the first game. What standard are you holding this team to? Is this a playoff team in your mind, or at least in the mix?
Well, in the mix is kind of a cop-out, right? But but I look at the East, and I think the Blue Jackets can finish third place in the East. I think the 1 and 2 are going to be pretty locked in. I give the 2 between Tampa and Florida. I give the 1 to Carolina, that regular season well-run machine, but I think they're in there for that 3-hole. I think that this is a team that, through your failures, you find out ways to succeed, and I think last year was a failure, and I think guys like Werenski are, with an Olympic year and a busy season, let's put them there. Let's put them in the playoffs, but solidly in the playoffs.
God, what a season! What for the 25th year? Come on, let's get it done. Can't wait to listen to you tonight. It's exciting that we're all back to work, buddy, on this side of things. It's great talking to you again. Thanks for your time.
Awesome to talk to you. We'll talk to you next week.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks, buddy.
There he goes. A little bit of Shelly time on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. 3 things on a Thursday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's the Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass. We saw your trick special teams play this past weekend. I guess it helps when you've got a guy like Brandon Innes, who we didn't realize till you said he'd been a high school quarterback.
Yeah, we didn't really put that out there because we didn't want anybody to know that we were even thinking about something like this. But I thought he did a nice job. Put his foot in the ground, took a shot, but made the throw, executed at a high level. And I think when you put a play in like that, things can go wrong. But they did a great job. And one of the things about that play is that the timing of Lorenzo slowing down the gunner and crossing his face twice was really well executed, because, if you just let him get a free run, Brandon's not going to have time. The guys up front on the right side, we viced the gunner. We double teamed him to make sure he didn't get down the field. And then I think it was Leroy Roker had to slow down the long snapper, and then everyone had to do their job just to give him enough time. And when he threw it, he did take a shot. But the key is that the ball has to be a lateral. So where that is on the field and how that all spaces out is important. It had to be the right hash. It had to be the right look for us. We felt like it was the right time to pull it out. We're going to keep trying to find ways to create explosives and make sure that special teams is an advantage for us.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Flight Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safe Flight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Ron, I want to go back to something you said about the trick play you had on special teams. Is it really predicated on what the opponent is showing you as far as their coverage look?
Yeah. It depends on what type of scheme you're going against. But it's always good to be aggressive. We have things like this that, we'll have in the bag of tricks that don't quite make it to the field because of the looks of the situation or the down and distance or, the weather. There's a lot of different things that come into play. But it is good to also put some things on film to make others prepare for some of these different looks. And the more versatile you can be, the more you can keep them on your heels, and that's the idea.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Around here, it's all or nothing, and Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anybody, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through November 3rd, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.75 APR financing. Or you can get 5.75 APR financing on hybrid models with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bake, I noticed in Shelly Time, while I was asking about the lines, you were displeased. I have a feeling we're displeased about the same thing.
Well, the Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli breakup there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't love Fantilli not being with.
I don't either.
I'm not picking on Boone and Cole, but I'd like to get some skill around that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like they're trying to send messages.
They're there every day, though.
Lines.
They know who's playing good, and Cole did have a good preseason, so.
Yeah. All right, Reese, what do we have in the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, do you think the Blue Jackets will make the Stanley Cup playoffs this season? 62% say yes.
Shelley's got him as the 3.
Better than Toronto.
Look out, Leafs.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Time for 3 things on a Thursday. Hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Number 1 for me last night was NBC's final middle school football game. Took an L, tough one to take. And I immediately realized I didn't get a picture with him on the field and all of these things that you're supposed to do as a parent. Like, and I think sometimes we just get into this mode and we're just on to the next. We got to get dinner, got to do all this. So I regret that instantly. I regretted it until this morning where he did not get out of bed until around 10 o'clock. And then my wife texts me with this line. His actual name is Peyton. She goes, he will not get up. He will not do anything. He has milkshake all over his face. It's 11:30. And then I'm reminded, that's why they go to school. He's a teenager. That's why they go to school.
I'd say he's acting accordingly on a Thursday when he doesn't have anything to actually do.
Jeez.
First thing for me, I think I've solved the stadium music issue you keep getting emails for.
Oh, my God. I got 4 more since we did it, Reese.
Have you heard of Touch Tunes, either of you?
Yeah.
No.
So Touch Tunes is an app on your phone. If you go to an establishment and they have a Touch Tunes jukebox, you can pay for credits to have the songs of your choice played on the stereo in an establishment. Most of them they're in bars.
Okay.
Ohio State should have that. If you want to pay a certain amount, you get to pick the music. If you want to pay more, you get to have your song skip ahead of the line. If you want to pay Ohio State the most, you get to have your song played as soon as you want it played.
Ross Bjork is sitting in front of a cash register just going ching, 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 all the NIL. That's great.
First thing for me, I went to my first Blue Jackets game towards the end of the 03-04 season, and I was hooked. And unfortunately, I had to wait a while because they had the lockout the next year. I went to some games in the 05-06 season, and then I believe it was the 06-07, 07-08 seasons. I believe those were the 2 years. I missed 4 Blue Jackets games. I wasn't there in person for 4 over 2 seasons.
Big.
And that's when I really became a fan. And around that time, the Blue Jackets drafted a diminutive winger out of Boston College in the 6th round named Cam Atkinson.
Mm-hmm.
And he quickly became not only my favorite player in Blue Jackets history, but outside of Rick Nash, probably the best offensive player this Blue Jackets team has had, minus a Panarin year or maybe some of these guys they have right now. So I was super excited yesterday when the Blue Jackets put out the announcement that Cam next Thursday is going to sign a 1-day contract and retire as a Blue Jacket, and they are going to honor him that night at their game against the Colorado Avalanche. I know, Bo, we're not supposed to be fans in the press box. Yeah. I guarantee you under my quarter zip, I will have my Cam Sanity shirt on that night.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he lives back here in town. He's incredibly invested in the youth hockey in town. It's awesome. I feel that way, too, about him. Number 2 for me, I love the excitement of an opening night. I love it. First time seeing a team. I know that there's preseason. I don't ever watch any of the preseason stuff. I don't. This is when I start watching. So I'm excited to watch it tonight, and I love the excitement of an opening night.
Second thing for me, the Heisman Trophy ceremony is coming back to broadcast television for the first time since 1993. On December 13th, it'll be on ABC. It shouldn't be in December.
No.
It should be after the national championship is when the Heisman Trophy should be voted on and handed out. And the ceremony, wherever you want to have it, should only be an hour.
Yeah, no problem with any of that.
Second thing for me, and we've talked about this a little bit, maybe the Ohio State offensive line isn't getting enough credit this year. I saw Cam Mellor with this tweet. Allowed pressure rates in each of the following scenarios this year. Non-blitz, 17.4. That means Ohio State's second in that. True dropbacks, 17.7. They're first. Quick pressures, 4.8%. That's second. Long dropbacks, 38.5%. That's fifth. They're the only O-line that's in the top 5 for all of those. They've also allowed the fewest tackles for loss and the fewest sacks allowed. They're number 4.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it all marries, right? He gets it out quick. He reads it, gets it out quick. The receivers get separation, and they block it. So it's all working at a very high level. Was bouncing around looking for stuff to watch inside of sports commercial breaks last night, and Diversity Day episode of Office was on one of the channels. Oh, my God.
That's an all-timer.
I hadn't seen it in 20-some years, but holy smokes, no notes. That's a perfect episode of television.
Final thing for me, I read something from USA Today that says Ohio football coach Brian Smith is currently working without a contract. He had signed an employment agreement, or I guess he had signed an agreement with the university to take over as head coach back in December, and he's only doing that through the end of this season. But the university says that they are confident in getting a long-term deal done. That's great. He is the guy for the Bobcats in Athens so long as he wants to stay there.
Final thing for me, that music means the Ryan Day Show up next.
And we're back tomorrow on a Football Friday. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 9